Not only do his parents come from Hollywood, but Ben's cousin is actress Mara Wilson. Starred in such films as Matilda, Mrs. Doubtfire.
What the f did you just say to me? Does he have a sister? They are tremendous, but she's my sister, so I'm biased.
Some of their 2015 headlines included such gems as 2 reasons you shouldn't go back in time and kill baby Hitler.
What? Ben, why wouldn't you want to kill baby Hitler? Maybe he's pro-life.
If you go to their channel right now and sort by oldest.
Is Trump a big winner? Or is he a spoiled brat?
Ben, you used to be so based. What happened? Was it money?
The Daily Wire had also established a conservative book publishing imprint written by the usual suspects, but also one of the pigs involved in the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor.
What? They would put together a book over a woman who was fucking murdered. I had no idea that they were that fucking evil.
Ben has seen some better days. The man is having to play Fortnite.
Okay, so now this is the warm-up.
They should just hire the ungrateful Chad at that point. That'd be such a fucking meme move. I got your back, guys. I got your back. Alright guys, there's a new Jay Aubrey video out about Benjamin Shapiro, which looks really interesting because Daily Wire's been doing really poorly. I'll see like things on online about how they're only got like 5 or 10 viewers watching. I think they tried to do a 24-hour channel. I don't know who the fuck's trying to watch that 24 hours a day, but so yeah, let's take a look at them. I like the thumbnail too. You guys see the thumbnail? It's pretty fun. It's just Ben Shapiro with big eyes. They're all kind of creepy. Except for Claviculars for some reason. Oh, maybe a little creepy. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You guys know we're going to do a quick plug. Boom. Stickers. Link in the description. Pretty cool stuff. Boom. 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 Nice. Rob and Dan channel. Podcast channel with my life. Small Gut, $2 a month. Access to the VODs after I go offline. Access to the members only Discord. $5 a month. Medium Gut. You get the Small Gut stuff. Plus you get members only content and some members only pre-releases. Boom. Nice and easy. So let's start this video. How Ben Shapiro destroyed his own career.
Well, hello, everybody. The Daily
That scared me. I'm going to keep it a stack with you. Is that loud?
Wire, you might have noticed, is instituting significant layoffs. There was a
Damn. Well, you know what? COVID was crazy. He probably expanded. And he dialed it back down.
time when Ben Shapiro could reasonably call himself the king of all conservative media. That's all over now.
Did he really say that? What a self-aware king, you know? This video about Ben Shapiro is like the most ethnic thing I've ever heard about Ben Shapiro, you know what I mean? Because it's got like a little bit of an ethnic beat. And Ben, I don't know if he's a big fan of ethnics, you know? Is that weird to say ethnics? I don't know. I was being silly. Jay Aubrey. Whoa.
Yeah, I can't help
Was that real?
but notice that the online world has become increasingly intertwined with mainstream politics lately.
You will be, in the not-too-distant future, running...
This is true, man. Online is becoming a lot more offline. It's fucking crazy, honestly. Maybe one day I'll finally get some recognition, guys. Maybe that's what it means, you know?
for political office. And you have my complete and total endorsement.
Wow.
Influencers who
Yes, Jake Paul, please run for office.
once had nothing to do with such polarizing issues have since flung themselves headfirst into the most contentious political matters of the day. Whether
I think that's my favorite part about Donald Trump is that he makes any white boy think that they could be part of politics, you know, and that's such a beautiful thing. White men really need more confidence, you know.
driven by clout or by ideological purposes, the fact is more and more influencers are beginning to play a larger role in the events that shape our history.
True.
I want to thank the Nelk boys, Aiden Ross.
Yeah, the Nelk boys, Aiden Ross. This is a grown man thinking these fucking kids.
Theo Vaughn.
If you had told me
Theo Vaughn.
5 years ago that Kyle and Steiny of the Nelk Boys would have had a hand in whitewashing a genocide by granting a war criminal a softball interview
What are you talking about, softball interview? He asked him about his favorite cheeseburger. What the fuck else do you want them to ask him about? You know what I mean?
on their Happy Dad sponsored podcast, I probably would have had
That's crazy, dude. Holy bazookas. Alcohol sponsored?
some kind of severe medical episode.
Yeah, I saw Dave Portnoy wants to run for mayor. Fuck that guy. He's a fucking moron, dude. What a stupid ass bitch.
I mean, even now, it's hard to comprehend that being a real thing that happened.
Burger King. I like Burger King more.
What's your go-to at
I'm never going to Burger King anymore.
McDonald's?
No, I'll tell you Burger King. We did the double, the
Whopper?
big- yeah, the double.
I haven't ripped Burger King in a long
It's
time.
not.
Burger
they call
King
it
kind of
something.
sucks.
Yeah.
No, you're wrong.
The BK
I like-
Lounge can hit.
I disagree completely.
You like Burger King over McDonald's?
That's your worst take, I think.
Absolutely.
That's a great.
This is worst take, I think. I don't know about Palestinians. I guess there's. I mean, one of his takes about Palestinians are they're basically not people, but you know what? That is his worst take.
Crazy take.
Damn, such a hard-hitting journal.
It's kind of a crazy take too, because I will say Burger King's burgers are really good. Actually, I think that they're better than McDonald's burgers, but Burger King doesn't really do anything that makes me go like, "Wow," you know. The burgers are good. That's my problem. McDonald's is like convenient and stuff. It's just like kind of exists. Like I like their chicken sandwiches. They're not bad, you know. That's, I mean, you know.
Journalism from the same guys who brought you Nelk picking up hot girls in Miami. And
nice!
Taking a virgin to the club. Because as refreshing as it might sound to have more people engage directly with the governments and policies that shape our existence, I can't help but think we're sort of being led down the road to hell by some...
I don't know if it's really a good thing that more people are involved in politics. The problem is politics used to be boring as shit. And then Trump got into office and he made politics like very interesting. So now like everybody talks about it because there is also like a financial incentive to talk about it because people are engaging more. So you don't just have to be a boring politic guy. Now you can be somebody with a traumatic brain injury named Joe Rogan, or any of the Paul brothers. I don't know how many there are. Anyway, so now more people are involved and like there's more fucking morons who just have like no business being involved in politics because they don't have any. They don't care. They just think Trump's a cool guy and doesn't seem too cringe because he doesn't like gay butt sex. That's it. I mean, that's most of the reason why people think the people on the left are cringe is because it's more accepting. So like kind of cringe looking people, I guess, get it, you know, they're like, oh, that's weird. Oh, I don't like that. Makes me uncomfortable, you know. But I guess they have no problem with like rape or kid rape because, you know, Trump's all about that, boy.
Some of the least qualified grifters to walk the planet.
You openly admitted you never do research or read articles outside of Twitter. How can you shamelessly tell others to read more? I don't need to understand whatever article you want me to read. I don't need to read your little special book or your Wikipedia article or anything else besides that. None of that stuff matters.
Yeah, somehow one of
he's such a smart guy.
The largest political commentators on Twitch, by the way. That's not discouraging or terrifying at all, is it?
Wash hands. Why don't you shut the up? I washed my hands 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, he's obviously trolling here just for attention.
Yeah, I'm fine. What are you talking about wash my hands for?
The idea that an official Twitter account of the US military would be using words like low cortisol and lethality maxing just weeks before launching a regional war in the Middle East is a bone-chilling reality.
Because to distract from Epstein, of course. Because there was no reason to do it.
But it's the one we're living in. Awesome. The political landscape is shifting underneath us as we speak, which can come with serious consequences, especially as online punditry moves further into the extreme.
Women are made to be literally.
Whoa, so why don't you fuck one? Dude, come on, bro. This guy talks about how women are made to be fucked. He's this misogynist. Oh, women are made to be sex objects. Have sex with one. Have sex with a woman, Nick. And Nicholas. I didn't say anything else. And what's crazy is like Nick is not like an unattractive guy, right? Like he's a small little shrimpy boy, but like he could easily get pussy, especially since he's fucking rich. And there's, I'm sure, at least 3 white supremacist girls that really mean it. At least 3. Most of them don't want to associate with the regime that wants to take away their rights. But he still doesn't do it. So, like, I'm pretty convinced this guy is, like, incredibly fucking gay. Like, I think that I basically could say that as a fact. I mean, Nick Fuentes is, like, mega gay. Have sex with a girl, bro. Have sex with a fucking girl. You know what I'm saying, dude?
That's what it is. Women are either mothers, whores, or nuns. No other options.
Last time I was in Korea, I was tired of them pretending they were not Chinese. You're all slanty-eyed. You're all Chinese.
Well, that's racist.
Japan.
You guys think you guys think he knows that it's racist, or do you think he's too busy raping women and sex trafficking women in his sex trafficking rape schemes? What do you guys think? I don't know.
Korea.
Give me the pass. I give you the pass.
All the time.
Damn, that's some C-word behavior. What the fuck? Why would you let some guy just scream the N-word as a black guy? That's like embarrassing to yourself.
We've talked a lot on this channel about...
Who even was it that screamed it?
Slanty-eyed. You're all Chinese. Japan, Korea.
You give me the pass.
I give you the pass.
Pass.
This guy looks like Rumpelstiltskin. Why the fuck did you let this guy yell the N-word, bro? Like, that's fucking crazy. I mean, if at least, like, maybe if the guy was at least, like, masculine, I would be like, all right, like, I guess I get it. But this guy looks like AI. Somebody asked AI to make Shrek, Rumpelstiltskin from Shrek look like a person. And that's who you let yell the fucking N-word, dude? Come on, man. You guys get a better white supremacist. You know, get a better white supremacist on there. Maybe like Chud the Builder. He likes apparently got pegged in the ass and he likes trans women. I don't know. I also heard that after he had sex with trans women, he would chant in the mirror that he's not gay. He'd be like, I'm not gay. I'm not gay. I just heard that, so.
He says that all the time.
We've talked a lot on this channel about these guys. The loose ensemble of kick streamers and
probably a loose booty hole.
Other online provocateurs, ushering in a new era of reactionary politics, united not by a single outward ideology, but by a shared desire to build and maintain a personal brand. In their quest to create viral
a personal brand of racism, dude.
Moments.
Maybe I should have just like hopped on the racism train. What the fuck is this glowing for? What the fuck? Okay. Maybe I should have hopped on. I was making edgy jokes. I actually stopped making edgy jokes on Trump's second term because things got so out of control. Actual racists were following me. I was like, what the fuck? I'm just having a good time. And actual racist people were following me. So I had to stop making jokes. It's unfortunate because it just made me so uncomfortable. Like I'm making a funny joke about like black guys liking anime, and all of a sudden you got the fucking, you know, people using special characters to say the N-word in my fucking Instagram chat. And it's like, oh, well, that's not the desired outcome. But maybe I should have just grifted for it or something. Made some money. I'm just kidding. I would never want to do that. But still, what the fuck?
That keep themselves at the top of everyone's feeds, they've increasingly resorted to saying and doing more unhinged things. These guys are mostly funded by their audiences, meaning they're far less dependent on advertisers than traditional mainstream personalities, and have little to no incentive.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true, only because you have like the actual Satan spawn of gambling ads all over the place. The same people that say that are like porn addictions are bad are like promoting gambling. Because what's it called? Like none of these gambling sites give a fuck. I mean, even Nick Shirley took a undisclosed. He did an undisclosed Polymarket ad like for multiple videos. I mean, he should be arrested for that, but whatever. I guess he could do whatever the fuck he wants, as long as he doesn't talk about Trump's horrific fraud, billions of dollars made through crypto and shit. Incredible.
To temper their rhetoric.
I'm Candace Owens' biological mom, and she is my biological son.
What?
And we're gonna get married.
Moreover, the billionaires who keep the lights on at Kick and Rumble are hardly interested in reining in the wild rhetoric so long as it continues to generate traffic. After all, much of their appeal stems from a perceived willingness to speak their minds, a supposedly moral
speak your minds, guys.
Commitment to tell it like it is, which of course only opens the door for more controversial moments, more clicks, more attention, and more money. Rinse and repeat. This less organized, less restrained, and in some cases, less explicitly political band of influencers with their fingers on the pulse of—
Don't you like it when like the non-political people are always right-wing? Isn't it incredible?
Online culture and a younger, more energetic fan base at their disposal has set fire to the old guard of mainstream conservatism. And perhaps no organization better embodies that old guard than the Daily Wire and its most recognizable figure, Ben Shapiro.
Nice. I gotta say about Ben Shapiro is he's just such a fucking coward, bro. He's such a pussy. I think the reason why Ben Shapiro is on his biggest down here is mostly because he's a huge fucking pussy. Because, you know, here's the thing. Ben, like, meticulously tiptoed around every single, like, horrific conservative representation ever. Right? Like, I remember back when Ben Shapiro's biggest criticism of Andrew Tate, right? We'll put the sex trafficking, rape stuff aside. You know, back when he was like promoting, basically he was just running webcam services and getting men addicted to porn and taking their money and shit. Ben's biggest criticism of Andrew Tate was like, yo, this guy made a joke about how a 10 out of 10 trans woman is better than like a 2 out of 10 cisgendered woman. He didn't exactly use those words, but that was it. You have nothing else to say morally about any of the other shit? No. You know, when he decided that he wanted to have an active a take against Andrew Tate, when October 7th happened and Andrew Tate supported Hamas. And then all of a sudden, Ben's like, no, you're actually a horrible person. Wow, really? You knew that the whole time, though. So why the fuck would anybody care what you have to say? It's just very interesting how much of a fucking coward this motherfucker is. He's such a goddamn loser.
Since about 2016.
But I think that people can pick up on that. They see this guy acting like a fucking pussy. And they're like, oh, wait a minute, this guy's a coward. There's nothing redeemable. Because he wanted to maintain an audience in the short term. He didn't hold himself to any moral convictions. I'm pretty sure he used to be like kind of not a big fan of Trump, but now all over Trump's little peckerwood.
Ben Shapiro has been a dominant force in the conservative ecosystem, traveling around the country, owning every woke, blue-haired college liberal that dare challenge his intellect, or bintellect. Does that work? I don't know. In 2017, the New York Times bestowed upon Ben Shapiro the title of provocative gladiator.
What? When did they do this?
Intellect or bintellect.
Bentellect. That's a TikToker. That sucks.
That work? I don't know. In 2017,
Damn, 2017, dude. What the fuck?
New York Times bestowed upon Ben Shapiro the title of provocative gladiator.
Whoa, that's cool.
Conservative wonder kid with grinding mechanical intelligence, as put by The Week in 2018. God, what were people on, man? Ben quickly rose to prominence as a right-wing firebrand during Trump 1.0, before gliding off the right-wing outrage machine most potent during the Biden administration, expanding his reach and making money.
You guys remember Joe Biden? Things were so much calmer and so much better under that guy. Holy bazookas.
Hand over fist, even as recently as 2023, when the Daily Wire finished out that year with a profit of more than $200 million in
Damn, that's like $200 million.
Top line revenue. For all intents and purposes, Ben Shapiro's media empire was poised for unprecedented growth. But
yeah, and then he just had a whole bunch of old white guys working for him. It's fucking boring. And then Brett Cooper left, and then he tried to like replace her or whatever, and so did Candace Owens. But he replaced her with just some other unestablished person, you know? Like, I don't know. It's just terrible. There weren't better conservatives. There weren't better failed movie actors turned conservative that you could latch onto, dude.
But today, those prospects look a little different. One glance at Ben Shapiro's 7 million subscriber YouTube channel will tell you that Ben has seen some better days.
What the hell? Wow, look at all this. I think the Daily Wire strategy. This one's from 2 days ago. It's just like a bunch of shit posting, and I think the idea is to plug his like greater stuff. A lot of these views suck, but then he does get like a pretty big hit, like right here, like every few days he'll get like hundreds of thousands of views. I don't think he's doing that bad. I mean, this is basically like a clips channel.
Yesterday,
I'm pretty sure to try to get you onto the Daily Wire to see the full show. To subscribe to the Daily Wire Plus, right? Like that's pretty much what it is. All access for $18 a month. Wow. I think that's the big push right now. I think that they used to do their full show on the Daily Wire and then on YouTube, but now they've made a shift. So like from what I was seeing a while back is like you'd put like an hour-long show on there and then you put the clips on there after to hopefully get you to watch the hour-long show. I think now they've shifted fully to like a, hey, come subscribe. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Come subscribe to our Daily Wire thing, which is probably smart right now to really try to like lock in. There's potential for Daily Wire to come back, but it's just such an uninspiring, boring fucking show because it's all just a bunch of fucking obnoxious white guys being boring. Like get somebody else in there. Even fucking conservatives want something more than just like 4 different old white people. Get someone cool in there, you know? Have somebody wear like a furry outfit. 18 a month does seem pretty aggressive, but I don't think he's doing that badly. He's just not doing as well as he was doing, you know?
some much better days. The Washington Post just reported in May that Ben's views have plunged nearly 70% since the end of 2024, triggering a wave of mass layoffs amidst the inner turmoil.
Damn. I guess he couldn't really just say Biden bad anymore. If that was the whole strategy, he didn't figure out what else to do. You know? Again, but again, to end of 2024, like October 7th, 2023, right? That was when Israel-Palestine stuff happened. I mean, it's been happening for a lot longer, though, but you understand what I'm saying. I'm wondering, like, I'm thinking that that's part of it because of his, like, aggressive support for Israel, I'm wondering if that's what it is.
Daily Wire spokesperson Brad Bishop told the Post they had to cut 13% of their employees since the beginning of this year alone, which comes after a previous round of layoffs the company was forced to enact last year, shortly after their co-founder Jeremy Boring stepped down.
What a name, dude. He should have probably just changed that name. Fucking Jeremy Boring. So your name is Daniel Doofus. What the fuck is that, dude?
As CEO. Now they've even lost the guy who replaced him, meaning the future of the company.
What the fuck do they do? What is the CEO of what? Like, I don't understand. What do they do that needs a CEO? Like, why can't Ben be the CEO? I don't understand that. Why can't Ben do everything, guys? I like Ben so much.
He is now less certain than ever. This also comes as Ben's former friends and allies are running circles around him. He now finds himself outpaced by the likes of Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, and even his former acolyte Candace Owens, who continues to siphon views from her one-time employer, making for a particularly personal thorn in the Daily Wire's side.
Well, I mean, as shitty as Ben is, I doubt he wants to push, like, conspiracy theories. And that's kind of where the right has gone. So, but he never really even tried to replace her. Or not even, like, replace her. Like, I don't know. Like, is there no way for them? Like, they have, like, kids stuff on their platform. I'm not saying do more kids stuff on the platform. My point that I'm trying to make here is, like, you can't do, like, Daily Wire Junior, like a smaller Daily Wire like thing where you have, I don't know, like fucking minor league baseball. It's not quite the Daily Wire. It's like the fucking Weekly Wire. You know what I mean? To try to get some more people, but they don't have any, like, is it going to be the smart play to just play it like really safe? Guys, let's play it really safe. I'm stuck. Play it like really safe. We're losing money. What should we do? Play it really safe. That always works,
The online conservative ecosystem is changing rapidly, and if Ben can't turn things around soon, he may just become a has-been.
Oh, shit.
Because Ben...
Oh, I didn't get it, actually. That was funny.
You get it? I mean, some of these videos have less than 20k views. The man is having to play Fortnite and react to TikToks for...
He's reacted to TikToks for a while. I don't understand why he thinks that Fortnite would be a really good way to get the kids. We literally have a proof that playing Fortnite does not make kids want to engage with any type of political content. It's called the ungrateful chud. I mean, the unfaithful chud. All right, nobody fucking likes that guy. Playing Fortnite like 5 years after it was relevant is not exactly, not that it's a horrible, irrelevant game, but it's not like on the culture. It's got a nice place in the world, But that's about all you could say about it. It's got a nice place in the world, but it's not exactly the most inspiring thing in the entire world. So I think it's time to maybe do something else.
For God's sake, he is paying to run a full broadcast of his show as a pre-roll advertisements on other videos, hoping that the viewer just falls asleep and watches the whole thing on accident, I guess? Not sure that's a winning business strategy.
Please do, dude,
Strategy long term, but you do you, Ben. I've contemplated the
Ben
video on Ben Shapiro for years at this point. It's not like he hasn't given me a potentially endless trove of content to latch onto and attack, but as Cody Johnston said a few months ago in his video, we're
I've seen that guy before. He's pretty interesting.
At a point now where this might be the last time Ben Shapiro is even relevant enough to talk about.
Damn, man. That's kind of fucked up.
Predicament is a very real one, and I think it's worth examining how he went from such a rising star to a complete dud in a little under a decade. I think,
bro, it's I'm telling you right now, there's two big points that made Ben Shapiro fucking like lose relevancy. One is going to be the end of COVID, because COVID gave a lot of people their careers, and then the biggest one is like Israel-Palestine and the way that he like just completely fucking like ate up every single Israeli narrative and like regurgitated it uncritically. That's what it is. Those are the two biggest things that like really Get him in. That's it. Because he just uncritically says like every single like you know, pro-Israeli sentiment. That's the whole thing. So I'm telling you, if his view, especially if his views started going off at the you know, down the beginning of 2024, end of 2023, that makes perfect sense to me. You know,
I think it's
did COVID give my career? Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I used to make I started making content at the beginning of 2020 on TikTok. I just brought my first ever meme was a meme about our video, I guess I'd say, was a video about universal basic income, actually, funny enough, and how I like it, which I still do. And then I just started making jokes and having fun and farting around on TikTok. And then by the end of 2020, I was able to quit my job. And why did the hi-fi jump down? Oh, I was able to quit my job and stream full time. And I've been doing this thing ever since. Lucky me.
Speaks to the wider conservative movement that in the world of Republican politics, so-called
a chud
principles aren't gonna get you as far as simply reading the room. Looking through this lens,
read the room. You can't. If you read the room, if you want to be conservative in fucking 2026, you can't just be racist to everybody except for the Jews. You also have to dislike Jewish people. Okay, Ben? So get on it.
Ben Shapiro's demise seems all but inevitable, and I hope this video can serve as a cathartic look back on one of the most putrid careers of one of the most repulsive men on the internet.
Damn, Ben. I'd say Ben is probably not as bad as a lot of the other ones, like I guess compared to today, but like I said, he's a fucking coward, so you got to give him his you got to take away his credit where credit is not due, you know what I mean?
Join me for the unprecedented rise and satisfying fall of Ben Shapiro. But first, I want to talk to you about today.
An ad.
Sponsor No CD. No CD is one of my absolute favorite
no cross-dressing, guys.
Companies to work with because it gives me a chance to talk about something that for too many years I felt I couldn't talk about at all, honestly. And that's been my experience with OCD. I've had it for about as long as I can remember, even back when I didn't know what it was. I had already become painfully aware of the symptoms and had grown accustomed to feeling trapped by my compulsive behavior and the obsessions that
oh, I get it. OCD, no CD.
Heard them. It can be hard to describe OCD to someone who's never had to deal with it, but I remember being in sixth.
Sometimes you feel like you just gotta do stuff, you know what I mean? You just gotta do stuff, man, you know what I mean?
Grade, feeling like I had to obsessively wash my hands over and over again until my anxious feelings went away. I would force myself to think of quote-unquote good thoughts whenever I took a test, or else I'd convince myself that I would fail. I would have to touch every light switch of every room I entered, or else I felt like I would lose someone I cared about. Obviously, there was never any real connection between my anxiety and these rituals.
You don't know that. You don't know that, dude. I still don't know that.
Doing them wasn't going to change the outcome of something, and I knew that, but there was still this part of me that said I had to carry them out in order to feel okay. And sure, giving into them would help for a little bit, until there was another one I had to do, then another one, then another one. It was just a constant in my life for way too long. All these
you guys know the drill, I always watch the ads.
Extremely rigid rituals began to consume me. It felt like I was being truly controlled and trapped by my compulsions until I found No CD. No CD is the world's leading treatment provider for OCD. All of their licensed therapists specialize in ERP therapy or exposure and
erotic role play. Yep, that's pretty good. I like that.
Response prevention therapy, which is proven to be the most effective treatment for OCD.
Guys, you feeling OCD flare-ups? Jack off.
OCD therapists go through extensive training led by leading experts in OCD, so they know exactly what to look for and how to help. The lessons and tools my OCD therapist taught me always ring loud in my ear every time I'm about to give in to a compulsion. They made
it's called ASMR, you know?
Me feel heard, and I can't tell you how much of a relief it was to actually speak with a trained professional whose job it is to listen to my experiences. It will always benefit you to reach out and get help, and I can tell you personally that No CD is here for you. Their therapy is 100% virtual and covered by insurance for over 138 million Americans. It also includes support between sessions, so you never have to face OCD alone.
Yes, No CD's nuts in your mouth, dude.
To learn more about starting OCD therapy with No CD, go to nocd.com and book a free call with their team today. That's
Yo, is this really the closest save point that there is here? This is fucking booty-ass bitch.
nocd.com. Huge thanks to No CD for sponsoring, and now back to Ben.
Hey, me, Benjamin Netanyahu.
Benjamin Aaron Shapiro was brought into the world at the height of
Aaron? Is that a Jewish name? What the fuck?
the Reagan era on January 15th, 1980.
Aw, I bet Trump would think he looked like such a cute baby.
Growing up with 3 sisters and raised by deep red
How'd you get that video?
Reagan Republicans in the predominantly liberal city of Burbank, California. Ben's parents both enjoyed careers in the field of entertainment.
Isn't it so interesting that like a lot of the conservatives that bitch and moan about fucking like right-wing shit or left-wing shit, they always live in like a liberal city. And they complain about Democrats. Like, I live in Austin, Texas, but I fucking hate the Dems. You know what I mean? Yeah, good stuff, Joe.
His mother being a top executive at a television company, with his father David working as a composer.
Wow, David, you look okay.
Meaning that even from a young age, Ben had a healthy exposure to the arts. He was described as a child prodigy by Spectator in 2018.
Wow. Okay, skilled in both violin and piano. Where did he go wrong?
Skilled in both violin and piano, which you can judge for yourself by watching his appearance at the Israeli Bonds Banquet in 1996.
Benjamin Shapiro is 12 years old. He will play for us the theme from Schindler's List. Ladies and gentlemen, Benjamin Shapiro.
Benjamin.
It's almost kind of sweet to see a young Ben Shapiro so passionate about something that doesn't completely suck and make people's lives worse. You know, if you ignore.
Are we not allowed to hear it? What the fuck, dude? What the segment?
Or the glaring fact that this performance was done to benefit a fascist ethno-state, of course. But if we know anything about Ben Shapiro...
What the hell? Why didn't you let us hear it, dude?
It's that his love of artistic expression has never once faded, as he's continued to sharpen and refine his musical chops over the years.
Oh, nice.
Kinda makes me wish he had just steered...
Sounds like me, like, in the morning, trying to, like, shift. And then I have to get, like, not wanting to get up and pee, but I have to pee. So I get up and I pee, and then it wakes me up too much, and then it's, like, annoying, you know?
Clear of politics altogether and gone the route of a musician. A classical musician, okay? Not whatever the fuck this is.
Let's look at the stats.
But if a streak of creativity ran through Ben, so did a sense of unwavering patriotism. So much so that he had dressed up as John Adams every year for Halloween since the
alcohol guy? The beer guy?
Age of 5. Political discussions around the dinner table were far from uncommon in the Shapiro household, as David made sure that Ben, along with his sisters, were sufficiently engaged with the pressing matters of the day. But that doesn't mean Ben Shapiro always wanted to pursue a career in politics. Anyone who's seen his questionable takes on the Barbie movie or One Battle...
Damn, it was pretty bad. Barbie movie was good. It was a lot of fun, so... What a goober.
After another knows that aside from music, Ben has long displayed a passion for film and television.
I like his mug. Did you see his mug? His mug is...
Oh, the root beer? Yeah. I prefer A&W personally.
Funny. Did you see the mug he's carrying there? It says, "Oh, for fuck's sake." That is what the mug says.
Which makes sense. Not only do his parents come from Hollywood, but Ben's cousin is actress Mara Wilson, who... as a child, starred in such films as Matilda, Mrs. Doubtfire, Miracle on 34th Street.
What the fuck are you? Did you just molest my ass? What the fuck did you just say to me?
Hollywood, but Ben's cousin is actress Mara Wilson, who, as a child, starred in such films as Matilda, Mrs. Doubtfire, Miracle on 34th Street.
Are you talking about like his real cousin, or one of those things where it's like my cousin, like a Hispanic cousin? You know, like they're all cousins, and they all are named Carlos, but their middle names are their first names. That was a real thing. That's a real thing. Not all of them are Carlos. Some of them are like Jesus, but you understand. But that's my question. That still stands. What the fuck is this? What? Yeah. Okay.
Perhaps the film that most resonated with me as a child, Thomas and the Magic Railroad.
Yeah, Thomas!
It's peak, honestly. Of course, it's worth noting that Ben and Mara...
Hey, wait. Do you know... does he have a sister?
Aren't exactly on speaking terms these days. Well,
what about his sister? Do you know about his sister? What about Ben Shapiro's sister? Have you guys ever heard of this guy? Ben's sister. I don't know if you guys have ever seen her before. She seems lovely. You know? What the hell? Oh my God. Free Israel, right? Was that what it was? I don't even remember what we're talking about. This is obviously real. Ben Shapiro commented on this picture, said they are tremendous, but she's my sister, so I'm biased. This is obviously, guys, this is definitely fake, obviously, but wow, incredible. Anyway, Ben Shapiro has a cousin, and she has psychic powers or something. I don't even remember what we're talking about anymore. Holy fuck. Isn't Danny DeVito pretty close with Ben Shapiro's cousin then? Weren't they like close with each other after the Matilda movie? I don't know.
But with her political convictions being the polar opposite of his. But if you look closely at Ben Shapiro's career, you may just find a thinly veiled desire to follow in the footsteps of so many of his family members. Take, for example, this particularly cringeworthy interview he gave in 2011. While promoting his fourth book, Primetime Propaganda, the true Hollywood story of how the left took over your TV.
Oh, shit, dude, the left, my evil bitch Foyd mom took over the TV, made me go to bed at 1 a.m. because I'm only 13. Fucking goddamn it, it's always the fucking left taking shit away from me, dude. My mom wouldn't let me watch all of wrestling. She would make me turn it off. There was usually 2 parts to wrestling. The first part was a little more censored, so she would tell me to go to sleep, so I turned my TV off, but I had a TV in my fucking room, so I said, fuck you, Mom, and I would turn it on really low, and then when I heard her come in, I would turn it off immediately. Fucking liberals.
Wow, very subtle title there, Ben. I wonder what the book could be about.
Hey, baby love.
Martinson brings up a time in Ben's life where he had been asked to write a TV series that Ben describes as a mix of comedy and drama.
Was that a comedy? Was it sitcom? Was it drama?
It was more of a dramedy. It was based on Harvard Law School. It was a dramedy. I've written a couple comedies, kind of hour-long dramedies for, spec script.
And have they been bought?
No, because
this guy should have made his own Saturday Night Live called Friday Night Funkin', you know?
No, and there are a couple reasons for that.
Okay. So what do you think was the reason, Ben?
Probably Hamas. Probably did something to do with it. They probably had something to do with it, right? Oh, there's 3.
One is that it's hard to sell anything in this town.
Yeah, thank you.
Period. Regardless of political viewpoint. And the other is that, and especially a breakout series right from the get-go, right? I mean, it's hard to sell a spec script. You start as a baby writer. I mean, you know the process.
Yeah.
And the one thing above all that Hollywood does right now that is utterly despicable is that they keep people who are not of their political ilk out of the business. Period. End of story.
Damn. Period, sister. You know what I'm saying, dude?
May not have expected this to be a confrontational interview, but Connie certainly doesn't back down in asserting what we're probably all thinking, that Ben Shapiro and other conservatives aren't kept out of the writer's room for being conservative, they're kept out for being unfunny. She even cites her husband,
dude, what are you talking about, Ben? Sounds like the funniest guy ever.
The conservative who found success in Hollywood, as a prime example of this.
I find that a little hard to believe because...
Look at the tape.
Well, I'd like to see the tape, only because my husband, who's a conservative, was a very famous director at a certain point.
Well, it might have been more okay to be a conservative director. I wouldn't doubt it's a mixture of things. Ben Shapiro is painfully unfunny and uncool and unfuckable, and his wife's pussy doesn't get wet. And also, like nowadays, people are in at least whatever time this was, it was like less acceptable to be conservative in some capacity or something. I don't know. Maybe Larry David really didn't like Ben.
I just try to think, being Democrat or Republican or whatever, very rarely came into the conversation.
Well, I mean...
Although I will say we were cleared by the FBI.
They then take a bit of...
Funny! I wonder if that's where her husband gets his jokes from.
A detour into a wider debate about conservatives advocating against abortion, but then failing to provide child-friendly social services once they've left the womb, a conversation that we are remarkably still having today.
I do know, having talked with some of the ultra-conservative, that they are very concerned, as you said, about anti-abortion, but they don't care about schooling. Where the government would come in, there is definitely no action.
I mean, they seem to be kind of separate issues to me. I mean, you can be for the not killing of fetuses or babies, and also be for less government intervention in education. We're spending a ton of money on education. Our education has been consistently worse every year for the last 50. So the correlation between government spending and better levels of education is completely misplaced.
Well, I was thinking.
What's really interesting, because I hear this talking point a lot, and Ben obviously has just been failing for his entire life. This is 100% true, dude. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know it's 100% true? Yes, 1979, the Department of Education was founded, and since then, we haven't actually gotten worse. We've pretty much flatlined. Some areas are worse, and most areas are the same. And people like to say, like, oh, look, that's an example of it not doing well. It's not, because also, the middle and lower class have been slowly being bled dry since 1980. And so you could argue, well, the Department of Education is actually bad. I would argue the Department of Education is actually keeping the schools up that aren't getting the funding they need from the middle and lower class families that can't afford to increase their property taxes to make the schools better. That's what I would say. I feel like they say these things because they just hate like the government. Not that it's perfect, but they just want like to cut taxes, and it's usually rich people. Ben Shapiro grew up rich. His family was rich. And it's usually rich people will have this take that, like, you know, the government's like super bad at everything. It's not great at everything, but they always want to do like they play this game of trickle down economics, which just never works for a fact. So I don't know.
In terms of the free food lunch for kids who don't have food at home. Anyhow, let's get back to
yeah, man, free lunches for kids is a great idea.
Television.
They spar some more over the politics of shows like All in the Family and MASH.
Oh yeah, my understanding is All in the Family was about like a liberal parents and then like a conservative Michael J. Fox. Isn't that interesting? Oop, wrong way. And people actually really like the kid. So
Ben suggests that Hollywood was much more moderate in the 50s and 60s before, in a sinister turn of events, becoming liberal sometime
liberals
in the 1970s, as if it were some carefully coordinated conspiracy or something, and not just a reflection of where the country was politically at that time. But I think it's fascinating that Ben essentially admits here that he had tried to get a television show off the ground at one point, only to be turned away because, in his words, his politics were too unsavory for
stinky guy, am I right?
Hollywood. Now, what I wouldn't give to actually read any of what he wrote for that TV show that never made it to production, but I think there's ample evidence that conservatives have been able to find work in Hollywood, assuming they're actually good at what they do.
Yeah, you know, like that one guy. What's the guy from Parks and Rec? He played the Andy. I fucking hate that guy. You know, he's like a super conservative, and he used to be he married to Anna Faris, and then Anna Faris made him what he was today, and then he immediately left her. What a nice guy! But he's also conservative, and he's a dumbass fuck, so I don't like him anymore. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, just that year alone, Norm Macdonald was able to launch a new show on Comedy Central. And it's not like Norm had ever been shy about his political leanings. He was just talented regardless, and
I don't think he was conservative, so.
Therefore was able to have a long and fruitful career in entertainment. Even to this day, he is highly regarded by industry leaders across the board, despite being a longtime conservative. I'm just highly skeptical of Ben Shapiro's theory here. The conservatives were being turned away in mass on account of their political convictions alone, and that his attempts to break into the industry failed in any way because of his politics. Seems to me like more
Chris Pratt, yeah.
more of a convenient excuse for not being more talented. Yet I refuse to believe.
Probably. It's like a victim complex, and that's the victim complex. It's, hey guys, I'm a political person, so nobody wants to like associate themselves with me because I'm very conservative. Like, okay, cool. Boring. That's pretty much what it is, right?
Believe otherwise until Ben lets us see those amazing dramedy scripts he wrote. Release the Shapiro cut, Ben. The world needs it. But not everybody disagreed with the central argument of Ben's book. Turns out there were a few key men living around Los Angeles at the time who felt similarly dejected by liberal Hollywood elites. One was a fringe producer by the name of Jeremy Boring, perhaps best known, in the words of Vanity Fair, for helping to produce Etienne, a buddy movie about a dying dwarf hamster. Yeah, I think I speak for everyone when I say we've all seen that one. Would it surprise you to learn that it's now found a home on Tubi? Wait, hang on, the rating...
I have no idea what the I don't even know what the fuck that is. Truthfully.
Is what exactly? After moving out west from a small town in Texas, Boring became friends with star of the TV show Chuck, the titular character in the DC franchise Shazam, and
Oh yeah, I fucking hate this guy too. He's like an outward, like obnoxious fucking conservative.
esteemed Fortnite Friday guest Zachary Levi, who he would accompany to the Chuck set during the late 2000s. Boring told Vanity Fair of one on-set exchange that always stuck with him. One day, I'm walking through the stairwell and a very well-known actress, who was one of the stars of that show, stopped me and said, "Hey, is that your Bush Cheney bumper sticker on that pickup in the parking?"
Hey, is that your smelly bush?
What? I said, "Yeah, yes ma'am." She said, "Kid, you've got balls of steel." Honest truth, even until that moment, it was completely lost on me. And just like that, Boring became keenly aware of a silent underbelly of the Hollywood machine. Whoa. Conservatives did exist in LA, they just weren't as vocal as the liberals may have been. He soon joined a networking group called Friends of Abe, described by the New York Times.
Abraham Lincoln? What? Who's Abe?
As a collection of perhaps 1,500 right-leaning players in the entertainment industry, which is where he got to know Andrew Breitbart, the bomb-throwing—
Oh my god. What the fuck? This is like the Illuminati for conservatives? The fuck is this shit?
Reactionary founder of Breitbart News. Breitbart famously used to say that politics is downstream from culture. It was sort of his guiding principle.
Well, yeah, no shit. Used to say, yeah, no fucking kidding, what?
When honing attacks on the left. Breitbart felt that if conservatives could penetrate the world of film, TV, and music, they could then mold political consciousness in their favor. Perhaps it's no surprise then that Breitbart hired a 28-year-old Ben Shapiro to become the outlet's editor-at-large in 2012,
nice,
just
dude.
Weeks ahead of Andrew.
So he got like a bunch of work because he was a conservative? Is that what I'm hearing? Oh, you're a conservative too?
Breitbart's sudden death on March 1st of that year, replaced by Steve Bannon, the continuation of Andrew Breitbart's legacy.
What the fuck is this shit? What the fuck? They're like all best friends? What the hell are we? What is this? Why are they all best friends? What the fuck? I've heard of all these people. They just used to work together? What the fuck? Is this the Illuminati? What is this?
Legacy was already well underway, considering it was him who introduced Jeremy Boring to Ben Shapiro a few years earlier. The two men would go on to start a news site of
what the Sigma is happening right now?
Their own called Truth Revolt in October of 2013, before founding another website in 2015. They called it The Daily Wire.
Whoa.
Within just 14 months of bursting onto the scene, Ben Shapiro—
I just realized I look like a fucking idiot with the way my shirt's sitting. I look like a sloppy prostitute. What the fuck? Oh my god, dude. Holy shit. Who watches me? I look fat as hell.
And Jeremy Boring, who I should mention like to call himself the God King of the website.
Dude, he needed to change his name to like Jeremy Cool Guy or something.
Because he felt like cringing out of
Jeremy Goldman? That would be a cool name, huh?
Your skin today.
What's up with these women that he has surrounding himself with? What the fuck are the fat bitches, dude? I'm fine with some skinny girls too, but you can't have all skinny girls. This is my thing. This is how you know that they don't fucking throw dick. Because there's no way like a skinny, God bless skinny girls, but there's no way that these two are going to be able to handle anything. What the hell's happening right now?
Hey.
Do you remember when there were two genders and only 1.5 of them had to shave their mustaches?
Hey, do you guys remember when my fucking magical Jew wizard would do party tricks and turn water into wine? Yeah, that's real. Fuck you. His mom? She fucking didn't even have sex. He was Jesus Christ was the first one out of that fucking woman's pussy. And inner pussy. Fucking awesome guy. You guys remember that? Hey. You guys remember when Jesus said nothing negative about gay people, but a lot of negative things about rich people? Yeah, I don't remember that part. Because it's part of a selective thought. As a religious guy, I don't give a fuck about poor people. So I ignore that part. Oh, I care about poor people. Unless it's their fault. Guess what? It's your fault if you're poor. So I don't care about any of them. Fuck you.
were able to boast that the Daily Wire had become cash flow positive nearly a full year ahead of schedule. They like to brag that they didn't need any outside financial backers to do it, but that's probably because their venture had always been propped up by billionaire fracking tycoon Ferris Wilkes.
What? You're saying that they're a fucking plant? Oh my god.
A noted Christian nationalist who fueled the Daily Wire's launch to the tune of...
Well, look at there's some beautiful diversity. All white guys, but some of them are Jewish. And the rest of them are other Christians, but they're all extremists. So I'm happy that, you know, different cultures can find peace within each other. Okay.
$4.7 million as a part of him and his brother Dan's broader mission to, as reported by Ava Kaufman, not just slash regulations and taxes for the wealthy, but to steer the government toward Christian rule, seeking to eliminate the distinction between church and state. While calling itself a truly self-funding business on its website, the Daily Wire addressed its oil baron ties by desperately arguing that, as of July 2020, neither Shapiro nor Boring have ever met with Dan Wilkes or received any money from Wilkes Brothers LLC, which doesn't stop the site's detractors from braying about how the company is bought and paid for by the evil fracking Wilkes Brothers. Wilkes Brothers sounding, we guess, like Koch brothers and thus more nefarious to leftist media outlets.
Oh, it's all a conspiracy.
Well, at least you guys clearly aren't mad about it. Glad you don't let the criticism get to you. Clearly, if it's the longest paragraph of your entire about page. Also, how can you blame anybody for braying when you are quite literally bought and paid for by at least one Wilkes brother? I mean, it's just the truth. The least you can do is own it.
I think it's funny though, because Ben Shapiro is very anti-conspiracy theory, but like his entire Daily Wire company was founded on a conspiracy that was true, that it's bought by a billionaire. But that's the same thing with like Turning Point USA. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of like big rich billionaires that want to maintain some kind of supremacy and make more money that they don't even need. And they're willing to invest in whoever will give them a shake, and it's always conservatives, because conservatives want to roll things back to the way they were, which was basically just slavery for everybody. Like that's pretty much what it is. Women are slaves in the household, black people are slaves in the everywhere. You know, your young daughters are to be sold. That's what that was the point of marriage back then, to sell your kids for grains and rice and, you know, other stuff. Yeah, so that makes sense to me.
What exactly did they do with that generous donation, you ask? Well, at the same time they were pumping out article after article on their website, some of their 2015 headlines included such gems as Congressional Democrat, 1 in 5 Muslims willing to start jihad for caliphate. Democrats love cursing. Here are the top 5 leftist potty mouths. And 2 reasons.
Leftist potty mouths? What the fuck does that mean?
Since you shouldn't go back in time and kill baby Hitler by Ben Shapiro? Ben, you're...
What? Ben, why wouldn't you want to kill baby Hitler? Maybe he's pro-life.
Jewish! The Daily Wire also developed a presence on YouTube and Facebook during this time. In fact, if you go to their channel right now and sort by oldest, you'll find a 10-year-old video.
Piece of ass. I like that one.
Of Ben Shapiro chastising then GOP primary candidate Donald Trump as a liar.
So, is Trump a big winner? Or is he a spoiled brat who grew up in the lap of luxury, had his daddy sign his checks, and then bragged about how he is a huge winner? Trump's 3 biggest crowds are
more like a huge wiener, am I right, Ben?
evangelicals, conservatives, and he's a winner voters. Trump is lying to all of them.
Which might be wild to see.
Whoa, Ben, where you used to be so based. What happened? Was it money?
But back in 2015, when there were still seemingly plenty of viable contenders for the Republican nomination, Ben Shapiro and the Daily Wire were actually fairly critical of the man, who would later go on to win the presidency twice and reshape the Republican Party in his image, attacking Trump on moral grounds in between other videos that were still very much geared toward a conservative audience, if you couldn't already tell from titles like Democrat America, Thugs, Rapists, and Child Molesters.
What? That's crazy, because Trump is all of those things. Isn't that so funny? He's all of those things. Let's see. A thug. Well, he orchestrated January 6th. He tried to overthrow the government and made billions of dollars on crypto scams. Wow, incredible. I love the one where he let Elon Musk into the spending of the government with Doge, and then he cut a bunch of things, killed hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of people around the world, but didn't save us any money, and then redirected contracts to himself. That's my favorite. That's my favorite thuggery from this fucking from Donald Trump, the chimp out president. Let's see. Rapist. Well, he raped a lot of women, including E. Jean Carroll, which is the Supreme Court that is stacked with fucking Trump sycophants. Even shot down his appeal. Incredible stuff. That's amazing. He also used to just go into pageant rooms because he owned them. He was there's pageant, and he decided to just eye rape every girl that he saw. Were some of them teenagers? Probably. Shocker. And then the child molester, you know, the whole thing where he was best friends with Epstein for 15 years. And he said good luck to Ghislaine Maxwell, by the way, when she was going to trial for, you know, being part of the infrastructure of child sex trafficking and rape. So that was incredible. Yeah, man. So that's all that. You guys got to stop with the projection. Like, I don't know who falls for it anymore, but you guys are fucking an embarrassment. Like, you guys are fucking demon seed morons. But okay, whatever you say, man. Whatever you sussy little bacas say.
Hollywood wants to molest your kids, and Captain America is gay and a Nazi.
Nice, dude. Gay and a Nazi, dude? Holy fuck, that's diverse.
This is apparently...
Holy, what is it, Michael Knowles? What is Michael Knowles, Captain America? Wow, based.
The kind of content that $4.7 million will get you.
This guy, by the way, is considered a leading Trump ally, Alex Jones. I don't know why! I can't understand it! Look at this! Look what's underneath here! It's another shirt! Why? Why? Because I don't want to go to the cleaners that often, that's why. Come on. Okay.
Wow. I wonder why his comedy special didn't get picked up there, huh?
It was clear from the beginning that the Daily
He's trumping out. He's trumping out.
Wire sought to provide content to dejected Republican voters who, sure, hated liberals and Muslims as much as the next reactionary freak, but were still skeptical of the GOP's frontrunner. Of course, that audience proved to be a shrinking one, as Donald Trump smashed caucus after caucus, picking up scores of delegates and solidifying himself as the man to face off against the dreaded Hillary Rodham Clinton that November.
I'm just chilling.
Grappling with a Trump presidency on election night, Shapiro and Boring may very well have positioned the Daily Wire to go belly up, if it weren't for a new niche they were early to tap into. It's not that they were simply pro-Trump, but they also definitely weren't anti-Trump either, as Ben Shapiro was
the old both sides campaign. Smart stuff.
About to learn the value of becoming anti-Trump in 2017.
Oh, is that how they marketed it? They're like, oh yeah, we don't like Trump, but we don't like the people who don't like Trump more. Oh, smart.
Trump is now president of the United States. President
Ben, do you have daughters? Would you feel comfortable with Trump being around your daughters? It's a real question. I've never heard anyone answer that question. Would you feel comfortable with Trump being around your daughters alone in a room for an hour? Punishment free? I don't know. I'm just wondering. Maybe they're maybe his daughters are like 20, so they're safe. They're too old for Trump. I don't know, but
Darth Vader, no, from this lady.
Okay, well, that was...
Hillary was a terrible candidate. Hillary was objectively better than Trump in like every capacity, just to be clear. Like, Hillary was better than Trump in every single fucking conceivable capacity, whether people wanted to believe that or not. So the country would probably be exponentially better off without Donald Trump as president. That's just a little factoid for you guys. Just a little tidbit of fact.
Forced as no way was that a genuine laugh, Ben. Come on. I know it may feel like another lifetime ago, but Donald Trump's first term in office provided plenty of material for mainstream liberals intent on demonstrating their hashtag resistance to a president who they, quite correctly, identified early on as a fascist warmonger hell-bent on ushering in the American century of humiliation. I mean, I think we can say now they were pretty fucking vindicated.
That is true. Russia was clearly scared of Hillary Clinton. Maybe they just didn't want to have to take orders from a woman or something. I don't really know. But they objectively helped Trump become president. That's a fact. That's what the Mueller investigation came up with. Unfortunately, Trump, obstructed so much. He used the Department of Justice to obstruct so heavily they couldn't prove collusion. but that's only because they obstructed aggressively. So, you know, Trump loves using the DOJ as his own fucking personal arm. That's why he sued the government for $10 billion and then settled for, what, a January 6th fund for like $2 billion. And then also not being able to have him or his family, his finances looked into from the IRS. Definitely not a fascist, though. Nut versus pedophile rapist, who will win? Yeah, I'll take the nut. I'll bust a nut to Hillary. You know what I'm saying, dude? Hillary just had bad optics. Like, Hillary was no corrupt than any of the normal people. Well, probably was, honestly. I mean, her husband was Bill Clinton, who was also on Epstein's Island, to be fucking real. But I mean, she would have been objectively better than whatever the fuck we have now. You know, maybe we needed to be radical and extreme, and lots of people needed to die around the world for us to go, wait a minute, Trump is a bad guy. Wait a minute, our politics are fucked.
You had the women's marches immediately after the inauguration, a day without immigrants on February 17th, pink pussy hats were flying off the shelves, though obviously not all of America was on board, since they did go on to elect him again just 8 excruciating years later, and there were figures in the media ready to capitalize on those who looked at the resistance movement and said, huh? Ben Shapiro understood quite well that while some Americans had voted for Trump, plenty of others had voted against Hillary. They may not have particularly cared for Donald Trump the man, but they certainly hated what Hillary Clinton represented. And unfortunately,
dude, like, we have to keep it a stack. Hillary wasn't amazing, but she was better than Trump. She lost because she was a woman. She lost because she was a woman, and because there's like it's historically almost an impossibility for your party to win 3 like elections in a row. But if she was just a guy that was just as much of a piece of shit, she would have won. That's literally all it is. There's a lot of people in America who just don't want a woman to be president. They'll say things like, oh, I don't think the rest of the world would respect us. Or, you know, women, I just don't think that's their role. So, like, obviously, that's the biggest reason why she lost more than anything else. Like, there was no logical, the reason that Hillary lost, it was not logical. I'm not saying she would have, like, I'll beat him 100% to 1% or to 0%. I'm just saying that she would have won if she was a man. Let's be fucking real.
Those early years also provided plenty of material for red-pilled servants of the billionaire.
The fuck is this guy?
Class to traffic in their cancerous ideology through the means of smearing the left as a bunch of hysterical crybabies that were simply too immature or uneducated.
Yeah, she won the popular vote. True.
To understand such foundational concepts as facts and logic.
People were wearing what they were calling pussy hats, like pussy cats, but
Do you know what that is? You know what some pussy is, dude? You know?
Hats, okay, and these were supposed to protest Donald Trump because Donald Trump is such a sexist. If you want to drive Americans out of your camp, a quick way to do it is just keep saying things like pussy hats over and over and over, and then talking about female anatomy. A lot of these signs are super obscene. There are a lot of kids who showed up to this thing, and there are a lot of really obscene signs.
The name of the game was to hammer the left on their supposed weirdness to get as many non-political people in the door as possible. I mean, this video alone got close to 1 million views, and that was before the world had really learned who Ben Shapiro was. As liberals were pushing back against Trump, Ben was pushing back against them, laying a new foundation from which right-wing figureheads would go on to launch their attacks. A classic strategy in the world of politics is to paint the other side in the most unfavorable light imaginable. If you can,
yeah, I mean, that was pretty much the entire conservative strategy, right? There really is no facts when it comes to any conservative policy. There's just none. And nobody even knows why they voted for Ben Shapiro. I mean, excuse me, Donald Trump. Nobody can give you a reason why other than he like seemed cool and he wasn't gay and cringed. That's literally it. So
can show an example of one leftist being crazy, you can smear the entire left as crazy, thus drawing a distinction between them and you as the reasonable, level-headed adults in the room, especially in the eyes of normies.
Is that Whoopi Goldberg?
A cursory glance at Ben's
wow, Kachan.
overall channel will show you that his most popular videos don't even have Trump's name in the title. What really got him the views were his reactions to woke SJWs,
owned him,
his attempts to debunk woke ideology, and of course, the debates. The many debates of Ben Shapiro. I think there could easily be an entire video devoted to Ben Shapiro's disingenuous debate tactics, but that's not really what we're here to do today.
Dude, he looks like, look at this. Look at here.
Ben Shapiro's disingenuous debate tactics, but that's
He looks like he claviculared himself up. You seen this shit? This is fucking crazy. Oh, sad guy with heartburn. Oh, handsome guy with some plastic surgery.
That's not really what we're here to do today. Ben's debates haven't been relevant for a hot minute anyway. But if you've watched any of it yourself,
He's too afraid to debate Charlie Kirk, I think.
You'll quickly notice a pattern. The overwhelming majority of these smackdowns took place on college campuses, meaning this Harvard-educated, heavily politically engaged debate lord was facing off against well-intentioned college students who, unfortunately, were a little too underprepared to deal with such a weathered professional. Now,
well, that's the point. That's why a lot of these conservatives will show up to college campuses, because they're completely like they have every talking point pat down, whether they're correct or not is irrelevant, and they're ready to debate people. These kids aren't. That's it. So they come in with confidence and like they come with confidence and prepared debate tactics, even when they're wrong. And then they're like, oh, look, these people are so stupid. And then when they get owned, they just don't post it.
Does that fact alone make Ben's positions correct? Obviously not. No. The point of these debates wasn't to be...
And then they also have people that like help vet them too. Like I forgot these specifics, but they'll have people vet for them. So you can't ask them tough questions. That's part. Oh, what are you going to ask in the line? And then they they'll engage like that too. So
right. The point was to humiliate the opponent at all costs. You certainly don't really need to change your opponent's mind. You don't even have to be civil. This is YouTube. Whatever it takes to go viral. Short, clippable moments will always be more valuable than fully fleshed out ideas and arguments.
Okay, but you're still saying these kids should like not be accepted because they don't really fit in either place. They can't just like...
I'm saying that the Boy Scouts have a standard. You must be a biological boy to be a Boy Scout. You have to be a boy to be a Boy Scout. In the name Boy Scouts.
Ben Shapiro, I have a question. Is Ben a Boy Scout? Because I'm an Eagle Scout. And the Boy Scouts is fucking gay, dude. It's so unfortunate. I had a Vietnam War veteran Scoutmaster and assistant Scoutmaster, so we did like real Boy Scout shit. We would go on campouts like once a month. We would do, it was fucking awesome. I liked it a lot. And I learned a lot. But there was a diminishing amount of people who wanted to associate with the Boy Scouts, and it was just kind of getting lapsed by the Girl Scouts. I don't really know why. I guess the Girl Scouts there was less people getting molested, I guess. I don't know. Women, you got to start molesting more. Just kidding. Anyway, I think there's a lot of good things about the Boy Scouts. So, like, they changed it to Scouts BSA. I think it's a great thing. If I have a daughter, I think I would like to start an all-girls troop, because you have to do an all-girls troop. It can't be a merger between boys and girls. There's already something like Venture Scouts for that if you wanted to do that. But like, yeah, I mean, fuck it, you should be able to do a boy and a girl troop, honestly. But I would want my daughter in the Boy Scouts. I want them to learn about like hiking, camping, starting a fire, all these different things. Girl Scouts is different. It's more like home, like craft, whatever the fuck, I don't know, homemaking stuff, which is fine. But let boys into that, let girls into the Boy Scouts. It's just annoying when you see people who are not Boy Scouts, not Boy Scouts, not Eagle Scouts, not Order of the Arrow Brotherhood members going around and they're just like, oh man, the Boy Scout, well, it says boy in it. And you just start shitting all over his pants. It's like, shut the fuck up. It was such a great experience. And as somebody, I struggled a lot as a youngster, getting my shit together. I was an obnoxious, like, behavioral kid, and the Boy Scouts really got my shit into gear. You know what I mean? So it's like, I think it would be like a really nice thing to let a girl do a boy thing.
Knew his role, and that role was to refurbish.
I think it would be fucking cool.
The old, dusty, conservative talking points that had been thrown around for decades, formerly weaponized by mainstream figures who were a little too ideological and old for the type of
Bill O'Reilly, he was friends with Jon Stewart.
Audience that Ben was going for. Ben Shapiro was Rush Limbaugh and Glenn Beck for a generation that had never heard those names before. He could connect with the youth in ways that were never possible.
You know what's interesting about Rush Limbaugh? Nobody cared when he died.
For Fox News blowhard.
Order of the Arrow members aren't supposed to talk about Order of the Arrow. Who says that? That's bullshit. Apparently you weren't. I'm looking it up now. I never heard that before, that you weren't allowed to talk about the Order of the Arrow. Whatever, dude. Boy Scouts is dying anyway.
like Sean Hannity, who were preaching primarily to the old folks home. Yet Ben was still railing against the exact.
Sean Hannity is my favorite guy with Alzheimer's screaming at the birds. Oh, that's pretty much cool. Pretty cool, guys. Look, it's so weird today. Oh, I look better. Okay.
Exact same issues the conservatives of the past had always been obsessed with. Feminism, transgenderism, Islam. He once famously tweeted that Israelis like to build, Arabs like to bomb crap, and live in open sewage.
I bet they love that, man. Good job, bud.
Hashtag settlements rock. He's advocated for...
What, is that like Fraggle Rock, dude? What the hell?
For the privatization of Social Security.
Yeah, we had secret societies in the Boy Scouts. We're not supposed to tell you that we'd get molested, you know?
Security, the complete criminalization of abortion.
It's just a joke. I was never molested. I was too ugly.
And gay marriage. And of course, fewer taxes on billionaires.
Yes, billionaires. Please, we need more of them.
Broadcasting himself across all of the major...
More death of children.
Social media platforms. Ben Shapiro quickly embraced the role of the new, fast-talking millennial who could demonstrate to the Republican old guard that actually young people could be quite receptive to this stuff if it were packaged the right way.
Yeah, you just got to put some zins in there. You just got to put some zins in with the packaging and they're going to be like, yeah, I love this.
At least that's what the old guard seemed to take away from his rapid success.
Nice.
And the success was undeniable.
Ben Shapiro, a provocative gladiator, battles to win young conservatives.
The New York Times reported that by November...
Conservative man goes after kids? What the fuck? He's not a pedophile. I'm just making a joke about how conservatives are generally pedophiles like Trump. Not generally. They just don't care about pedophilia.
2017, Ben's podcast...
They're okay with it. And then they wonder why people want feminisms.
Podcast was being downloaded 10 million times each month.
Whoa.
With a staggering 70% of his audience being under the age of 40. One compilation of his debates, uploaded in September 2017, is currently sitting at over 17 million views. By January 2018, Slate found...
So you're saying that Ben Shapiro is just going to be like a slow burnout? That's so sad for this guy. Damn. Come on, dude. It's cringe. You think he could bring it back? What kind of cultural significance can happen for Ben? Because, like, Ben doesn't really tick any of the boxes anymore. Ben is kind of like he's just like a little bit of like a wormy, mousy looking guy. He's not really cool at all. It's kind of fucking cringe. Who's going to resonate with this guy? You know what I mean? Like, how does that work? I don't know.
Found that Shapiro had more Facebook engagements in December than any other conservative site or personality except for Fox News and Breitbart. He was outpacing the Daily Caller by 2.5 times and received 6 times more engagement than Sean Hannity, 11.5 times more than Laura Ingraham. By that time, his Facebook page alone was sitting at 3.5 million followers. Jeremy Boring told...
I got like 30,000 followers on my Facebook. Fuck you.
Vanity Fair at the end of 2018 that the Daily Wire was bringing in a total of 140 million page views a month. Had 60 full-time employees on the payroll, and sure enough, they were able to bring on even more on-screen personalities in due time. By now, I have no doubt you know them, and I'm sure you love them.
Interesting.
In 2017, the Daily Wire officially brought on Michael Knowles, a graduate of Yale and...
Why?
Also a failed actor whose illustrious list of roles included a gay twink who has gay sex with another gay man.
Is that real?
That just happened.
Well, I guess acting is the only place he could truly be himself.
Dog.
For real, though, everything aside, what the is the Daily Wire, like, dumb as shit? I mean, it makes sense that they would hire literal nobodies from fucking idiot no-oneville that are closeted homosexuals instead of go for, like, actual popular commentary people that they could elevate more, because that's how they started, right? As, like, kind of like a dog shit nobody scheme that got, like, millions of dollars from right-wing billionaires that wanted to maintain their billionaire status. But, I mean, what a stupid fucking strategy to do. Like it's just a bunch of, like, who's the Daily Wire full of? It's just the same guy in different stages of development with different, like, disabilities. Candace Owens is gone, and so is Brett Cooper. But then you have Ben Shapiro, the short version of Michael Knowles, who is the gay version of Ben Shapiro, with their old version of both of them from the future. And then just like the fucking, like, I don't know, some kind of intellectually challenged stepbrother in Matt Walsh. And it's like, what the fuck is the diversity here? It's all boring. Jeremy Boring from the Daily Wire? Wow, that was funny. Maybe I could pitch a comedy like Ben Shapiro tried to. It's just fucking embarrassing. Like, what's the point of this fucking organization, honestly? It's fucking pathetic.
You didn't have to wear that. That's not a Speedo. That's a thong.
Damn hot.
Debated this man on COVID lockdowns.
The only reason I bring that up is because Michael Knowles, if you didn't know, is a raging homophobe who's declared that
and he's gay.
Same-sex couples are unfit to have children, that their families are pretend, and has compared surrogacy to purchasing a luxury item, stating that even if they go to the baby store and purchase the eggs from one woman and rent the womb of another woman and create a child as though the child were a handbag to be purchased at Ferragamo or something.
Gay. What the fuck is Ferragamo? What the fuck is Ferragamo? This is what I'm talking about, dude. Like, every single sentence this guy uses is like, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay, I'm gay. Like, what the fuck is Ferragamo? Nobody knows what that is unless you're gay, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it is true.
They're not fit to raise a child. He's argued that women understood the world a lot better before feminism, has decried
again, feminism is what got us raised to age of consent.
The anti-white racism. It has advocated for the eradication of transgenderism from public life entirely. So, perfect candidate for the cool kids philosopher to take under his wing. 2017 was also the year
the cool kids philosopher. You should have done some kind of KKK joke.
That Matt Walsh joined the Daily Wire as a columnist, before being upgraded to podcast host the following year. Walsh is a man with a similar resume, though instead of acting, his past consists of sitting on
just like he has too much neck with his beard, you know what I'm saying? It's so strange.
On the side of the road and rambling to himself about the differences of consensual and non-consensual sex. No, I'm not kidding.
There are non-consensual sex, which is bad, and then,
of course,
and we have consensual sex, which we think is always good.
I don't, man. I've had plenty of bad consensual sex, of course, Sometimes I'm just not performing.
That's what the culture says. That's what a lot of us have, most of us, it seems like that's the idea that we have. It's like, as long as they're consenting adults who choose to do this thing, then it must be okay.
Oh, it's an anti-gay thing. Okay. I thought he was talking about how he just can't come when he's fucking a girl or get hard enough to fuck the girl unless he's thinking of Michael Knowles' ass in the movie where Michael Knowles played a homosexual twink. Okay. Why? Who gives a fuck? Why are you thinking about gay cock all the time?
But the reality is that there's a lot of bad sex. There's a lot of immoral sex. There's a lot of disordered, gross, harmful sex that is nonetheless consensual. And
like what? Give me an example, dude.
In the Catholic Church, you have
True. There's a lot of it's not consensual. It's the rape of children. And then instead of punishing them, they just get moved to another church to rape more children.
You have some cases where like cases involving Cardinal McCarrick. You hear about Cardinal McCarrick and the controversy surrounding him. Now, there are accusations that he molested children.
Wow.
So, that's in that category. But
that's in what category? That's not consensual.
A lot of the accusations you hear about McCarrick and also with other, some of these other things as well. These are, in some cases, he's having sex with seminarians. These are grown men who he allegedly lured into bed and then had sex with. But
what?
As a grown man, if you let another man lure you into bed, does that belong in the same category as the 12-year-old kids?
Would you believe?
No, I guess. I don't. I guess. Good question, Matt. What is a seminarian? I guess he's trying to. I guess he's trying to say that him fucking adults wasn't as bad as him fucking kids. I guess. I agree.
But as a grown man, if you let another man lure you into bed, does that belong in the same category as the 12-year-old kids?
Would you believe?
Okay, cool. I guess.
Maybe if I said this was also the same guy who defended teen pregnancies.
What?
So long as the
Well, you know what? We really liked the teen. What is that teen pregnancy called? I'm a teen mother.
teen is married and the girls
What?
are tech.
Sorry, we're starting over.
Same category as the 12-year-old kids.
Would you believe me if I said this was also the same guy who defended teen pregnancies so long as the teen is married and the girls are technically, quote, most fertile at 17?
What kind of man are you, dude? That's my question. I never really considered what does the most fertile mean, and what does that matter if they're the most fertile? Wouldn't it be better to focus on not getting hurt when giving birth? Also, why two teenagers marrying each other is disgusting. Why would your parents let you do that? Also, who was married to this little child? Was it an adult? Because that's also yucky.
Teen pregnancy is a new problem.
Yeah.
Yes. In the sense that it's only recently that we decided that it is a problem.
Whoa, gross.
Even biologically, and this is me just stating, I'm just right now I'm going to start by just stating facts.
Yeah.
Girls between the ages of like 17 and 24 is when they're technically most fertile.
Yeah. Okay. That's a big age range, Matthew. You couldn't have just let out the 17, started with age of consent? I don't know. It sounds like a self-report.
Okay? That's biological. That's a fact. All right? I'm just stating facts. That's all I'm doing. So what I'm saying is that the problem is not per se teenage.
It's interesting how that's like they're stating facts unless it's the fact that Trump is a rapist or a pedophile. But they'll speak the fact that, you know what, maybe you should be able to sleep with 17-year-olds as a grown man. Isn't that so interesting?
Age pregnancy, it's unwed pregnancy. That's the problem in society.
Believe me, when guys, you should groom children into marriages with other children. I like that.
Went to the University of Maryland. I was a little bit older than everybody. It was like you get there and you see these like innocent girls, and by the end of the year, it's just like the stories you've heard about them. It's like this internal need to breed, and it just comes out at the wrong time.
Internal.
I'm not understanding what that means. What? This is just like a virgin fantasizing. Like, hey, you guys know that people go to college and have sex? Oh, I want to fuck teenagers. Like, it's like that's the fucking. That's what it seems. That seems to be the manifestation of what they're saying. It's fucking crazy.
Need to breed. Awesome. Another great hire there, Ben. Love the fact that Matt Walsh has sold literal plush toys of himself as a baby, by the way. Not at all.
What is that, Bo Blacks?
Strange or off-putting in the slightest. Nothing but the best at the Daily Wire, whose rotating cast of characters not only included a girl named Brett Cooper, who is essentially the gender-swapped version of Ben Shapiro.
What did I say? What did I say before? You heard what I said. It's just they're different versions.
And Candace Owens, who was officially brought on board in 2020 despite a bit of a controversial past of her own, one that includes Hitler apologia, as she stated in 2018
What the Sigma?
that if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine. The problem is he had dreams outside of Germany, which
Oh, that's a little tough. That's a little bit of a tough one, girl. I think the biggest problem might have been. I will say, it was also there was a problem with him trying to expand outward of his country. Also, a problem. I don't know if you guys know this, of him killing a bunch of Jewish people. So just so you're aware of that. Just gonna be honest with you.
I think only slightly undercut some of the things he was doing, I don't know, inside of Germany. But apparently Ben Shapiro saw that and said, we need her. Ultimately, Ben Shapiro was building a behemoth. Towards the end of Trump 1.0, the Daily Wire had been transformed into an influencer-driven juggernaut, hell-bent on waging the culture war on as many fronts as possible. Shapiro, Owens, Walsh, and Knowles were each raking in millions of views on their own respective broadcasts, and because of the constant cross-promotion that was going on, you could almost describe the Daily Wire as its own unique form of content house. Sure, they weren't living in a
it was like fucking TikTok time.
Mansion together like Team 10, or making their money from OnlyFans like the MILF House, but they were virtually inseparable for a time, because there was one glaring issue with the way the company had been organized. If one of the on-screen talents got big enough and decided they no longer needed the Daily Wire for support, they could simply walk away at any time and take their audience with them. A harrowing prospect.
That's probably not too good for these guys, huh? It's probably pretty rough.
That Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring would have been wise to take into account. But that wasn't exactly what they were concerned with.
Well, I mean, listen, and to their credit, you know, that's probably not something that they should be super concerned with. Because that's going to be considered like predatory in some capacity, right? Like if they did something like that, that would be considered like some kind of like, oh, you won't let people, you're not going to let people you're not going to let people leave if they decide that they're done. You're going to hold on to XYZ. So it probably looks better for them in the long run to not trap people, but
at the time, after all, they had much more pressing matters to attend to in the era of Biden.
Ooh. Joe Biden, here he comes.
With Donald Trump officially out of the White House, Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring found themselves in a more advantageous position than ever. For 4 years, Ben was, more or less, having to put up a front to defend a president who he had always despised on a moral level.
Damn, imagine he just criticized the guy instead of sucking his fucking dick.
Now the president was a Democrat, an old senile one that he could openly and viciously trash without having to worry about even the slightest pushback from his audience.
It's so weird to me, honestly, that like people call Joe Biden senile. Because like, yeah, probably, but what's one coherent thing Trump's like ever said in his life? Like, nothing. He's never even had like a policy discussion. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He's never articulated an actual policy. Like he's like, oh yeah, we're gonna just illegal immigrants. Just gonna ban them. Wait, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Oh, just tariffs. Just gonna do like 50%. That seems really destructive to the economy. Yeah, it is. Just a 50% tariff. Why? I don't know. Fuck it, right? YOLO. He's just a YOLOmancer. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. The guy was asked how he felt about Charlie Kirk getting assassinated. He's like, yeah, my ballroom's coming in real good. Oh yeah, it's gonna go. He's never like if you actually listen to Trump, and this is the problem, is that he's always a fucking moron. But if you've ever listened to Trump, he never says anything intelligent or articulate. He just talks. Biden was quiet, and then we had a much more stable country under Biden. That's a fact. People who say that's not true are coping hard as fuck. It's very strange shit. Oh.
In fact, it's what they expected him to do. And of course, Ben wasn't about to let them down.
Not a good look there, Joe. Not a great look at all. He's completely asleep. So, this guy is a fail. He is a giant fail.
And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
What? Hey, Trump actually did that, remember?
That's a great meme. Did you know that every single like creates one additional leftist tier? That is just science. What's going on with this?
Okay.
What's going on with this guy?
Trust me, the hogs were eating good. It's not like Joe Biden didn't give him any material to work with.
When it came spring, it came the fall, this is the God's truth. And you get in the car, and there's a little frost on the window, turn on the windshield wiper, there'd be an oil slick. Not a joke. I have asthma, and 80% of the people who, in fact, we grew up with have asthma. That's what you call a fence line community.
I don't care, dude. He was so deeply inoffensive and such an effective president, dude. I'm tired of pretending that Joe Biden wasn't like our greatest president we've had in such a long time.
This is the kind of person who's president of the United States.
In January of 2022, Boring announced that the Daily Wire's 12-month revenue had hit $100 million for the first time ever, up roughly 65% from 2020. Having just moved their headquarters from Los Angeles to Nashville, Tennessee, the company was prepared to put their massive war chest to good use by introducing a wave of new and expensive projects. And I'm not just talking about overproduced commercials for anti-woke razor blades,
but also chocolate bar. We love chocolate bar.
And pronoun chocolate? I'm not really sure, actually, and I don't...
Yeah, you want some shit-ass fucking chocolate, dude? Get the fuck out of here.
Care. In June, they...
I mean, I kind of get it. Like, who wants to have trans chocolate, am I right, guys? can't get into that if it's bigger than mine. You know what I mean?
Announced the Daily Wire Plus, an obvious spin-off of Disney Plus, though Disney
What?
Plus never offered commentary from a doddering old transphobe who has beef with Elmo for some reason. So
What? Not my Elmo.
if that's your thing, I guess it could be worth the $7 to $21 they make you cough up. I don't know.
That's an insane amount of money. You know what's a better deal? Papa Gut memberships, $5 a month.
Also announced another paid streaming platform called BintKey that featured content exclusively for kids and sought to answer the age-old
Hey guys, you want to groom your kids into conservative bullshit? Here you go.
Question of what if Bluey were a homeschooled chinchilla voiced by washed-up reactionary comedian Rob Schneider? Yeah, nothing screams family values like that guy.
How did that do? That do well? I bet.
Full disclosure, I haven't tried watching Chip-Chilla yet, and probably never will, but everything I've read about it indicates it was a pretty standard
It's like a shitty Bluey knockoff, no?
children's show with an emphasis on respecting your parents and loving your country, I guess. Apparently Boring didn't want to make this one as explicitly political, though he did explain that the point was to push back against what he saw as the worst excesses of the woke left.
What's like a woke left TV show? I don't understand.
Okay, kids go to school for...
Also, it doesn't really matter if it's explicitly political or not because it's on the explicitly political channel. Like, if you guys really want to push some kind of fucking conservative bullshit on kids, like, make a decent cartoon that doesn't suck fucking ass that's only exclusive to fucking bullshit. The only way that you're going to sign up for the Daily Wire is if you're already a cuck.
For 40 hours a week, and then they engage in pop culture for 40 more hours every week. That means for 80 hours of a child's week, you are turning them over to the left. Oh no, the exposure
not the gay flag.
New ideas and differing perspectives, God, anything but that. A good parent might spend 15 minutes a day in meaningful conversation with their kids. A great parent might take their kid to church for 1 hour, or 2 hours, or 3 hours a week.
Probably not gonna happen.
The other 80, they're watching Disney. They're online. They're in public schools. Oh my...
Ew, public schools. Yeah, because we're poor and stupid.
God, the horror. I would never allow my kids to endure the satanic dogma espoused by Disney Channel and public school teachers. Do conservatives ever get tired of being scared of literally everything? But not all the new Daily Wire projects kept their politics ambiguous. They also released a number of films, including, but tragically not limited to, the brazenly transphobic Lady Ballers, which was
Damn, it did really well too. Nobody watched it.
about a group of men getting into women's basketball by claiming they were transgender. Jeremy.
They already did Joanna, man. Like, how much more shit do you want to fucking do here? It's boring.
Boring, who has always wanted to be taken seriously.
It is boring.
As an actor, in the same way Ben Shapiro has always wanted to be taken seriously as a screenwriter, played the main character himself, and features cameos from the nation's most universally revered lawmakers.
Excuse me, are these seats open? Never mind.
Don't you have a fucking job to do? Though perhaps one of their most successful ventures to date is Matt Walsh's equally transphobic documentary, What is a Woman? Or as I like to call it, the final boss of coworker movies. The goal was to showcase the supposed absurdity of gender ideology, but at least 3 people who appeared in the film say they were tricked into being a part of it, and that the producers had misrepresented how it would portray transgender topics. Apparently,
well, yeah, of course they're going to do that because they're trying to make trans people look as bad as possible.
They had promised doctors and advocates that the documentary would explore the challenges the transgender and LGBTQIA face in today's culture.
Are you telling me that Matt Walsh actually got the trans people in his movie to be in there non-consensually? What the Sigma? The guy that thinks that 17-year-old girls should be able to get married and have children? Wow. That's cool. Here's my favorite thing. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people come at like the trans conversation. They try to explain to trans people like, oh, they're people, you know, they have a feeling. They feel like they're born in the wrong body. Maybe there's some brain stuff going on there scientifically. You know what? I'm a simple man. I'm not super smart. Here's what I know. Okay. The idea of being trans, maybe it sounds a little crazy. I don't think it sounds crazy, but it's different. So it's like, oh, that's, you know, you feel like you're born in the wrong body. Okay. Here's my thing, though. Not to be disrespectful, it sounds crazy that we live in a world that every one of these people, like Matt Walsh, says that we were founded on the belief in a magical apple curse. That's what it is. We ate a fucking apple. We lost our immortality. God put sin into the world. Then God's like, yo, I want to forgive you for your sins, so I'm going to have a kid. I'm not even going to fuck the girl. She's just going to have it. She's going to birth a magical Jew wizard that can turn water to wine. Party tricks. Everyone loves that. And then I'm going to kill him when he's 30. And then you're going to go to church and you're going to metaphorically cannibalize his body and blood every week. I think that might sound a little bit crazier. So, you know, I think that if we could accept something like that, which is a beautiful thing, I think that maybe we can accept that people feel like they were born in the wrong body. I think it's okay. I think we can manage it. I think that we're smart enough to do it. I think that we're smart enough to do that kind of shit, you know? We got it. We've got it, guys. Fuck.
As well as advancements in transgender care and gender affirmation surgery. Obviously, the film wound up doing the exact opposite. As NBC's Preston Ganaway pointed out, nowhere in the film did Walsh even use the phrase transgender care, instead opting for terms like chemical castration. Since they hadn't heard of Matt Walsh or the Daily Wire before, these
Damn. Owned.
Interviewees had assumed the filmmakers had more honest, pure intentions, and were surprised to learn their words had been weaponized to further a political agenda they didn't agree with. What I didn't know until researching this video was that the Daily Wire had also established a conservative book publishing imprint in 2021 that helped publish propaganda.
Yeah, they actually did a Berserk print, but it was actually Griffith was the good guy making Casca get raped. Isn't that crazy? That's real, guys, by the way. I'm not even making a joke right now, okay? That's real.
I mean, books, just, you know, normal books, written by the usual suspects. You know, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, canceled Mandalorian star Gina Carano, but also one...
Oh, yeah, you know why she got canceled? Because she was like, she's something about conservatives nowadays are the same things as, like, are censored as much as like Jews and Nazi Germany. It was something like that.
One of the pigs involved in the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor. Yeah, I know.
Wait, what?
Shapiro, Candace Owens, canceled Mandalorian star Gina Carano, but also one of the pigs involved in the fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor. Yeah.
What? Breonna Taylor is like an objective situation where she was a victim. You're talking about the Daily Wire. The Fight for Truth, the inside story behind the Breonna Taylor tragedy by Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly, who along with other officer fired shots that hit Taylor during the... What the fuck? They gave this guy a book deal? Am I hearing this correctly? Are you fucking kidding me right now, dude? That's disgusting. I had no idea that they were that fucking evil. I mean, I knew that they were evil, but holy shit. I didn't know that they were that fucking evil. That's insane to me that they would put together a book over a woman who was fucking murdered by police officers who were not following protocol whatsoever. That's fucking disgusting, actually.
One of the pigs involved in the fatal shooting of Breonna.
Jesus Christ, dude. Daily Wire is actually a fucking satanic cult. Holy fuck. Jesus.
Taylor. Yeah, I know. After Simon & Schuster refused to publish Sergeant Jonathan Mattingly's book on the assassination, the Daily Wire swooped in and saved the day. Isn't that nice? Simon & Schuster was too afraid to tell Mattingly's story, but we're not, they told the...
Why? Why wouldn't you be? You should be afraid of telling that story. It's disgusting.
Associated Press, and it's true. They weren't afraid to tell that story, but no matter how outrageous and provocative they got, there were always issues that the mainstream conservative brain trust at the Daily Wire refused to touch, which created a bit of a problem for Ben. A problem summed up by Ryan Broderick, who wrote, "The age-old problem with working at the racism factory, they eventually make a new racism that includes you."
Well, they didn't make a new racism. It's an old racism, you know?
No way! I'm here with Andy No. Welcome back to Slightly Offensive.
Here he is.
T-pose on him.
Ben Shapiro.
T-pose on him. Are you going to walk across and greet him?
T-pose on him, guys.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if he'll greet me. Are we going to go over? Let's go over.
All right.
This can't be in the middle of the street, though.
Ben!
Is that Andy No?
It's great to see you. Why did you give a 45-minute speech about me at Stanford, and you won't even look at me?
Hey, he's with his kids.
Come on, I'm right here. Hey, let him cross me. I know you're with your family, but I can't get to you else.
I shouldn't have to spell out for you why Ben Shapiro, one of the right's most prominent Jewish commentators, and Nicholas J. Fuentes, an ardent neo-Nazi Holocaust denier, would hate each other. They've been trading blows for almost a decade now, with Fuentes telling Tucker Carlson about their first interaction all the way back in 2017.
I said, how is it anti-Semitic to just be consistent on our U.S. foreign policy? I tweeted to Ben Shapiro. I said, I've never seen anything on the...
Well, this guy doesn't think that Jewish people should be part of the government, so I think maybe that's where the anti-Semitism comes from.
Daily Wire that's actually critical of Israel. And he quote tweets me. And at this time, I have 1,000 followers on Twitter.
How old are you?
I'm 18. I don't know. I probably got 100 likes on this tweet. It wasn't a viral tweet. He quote tweets me and says, to accuse a Jew of dual loyalty is the surest sign of anti-Semitism.
The fuck does that even mean?
He immediately called you an anti-Semite.
I was like, what is this? Like, why is this guy attacking me? Because I don't have a platform at this time. I'm not an influential guy or anything.
Well, that's what a weird thing to say. Both sides of the situation are incredibly fucking stupid. Because on the one side, Nick Fuentes decided to call somebody out, and now he's like, why are you attacking me? Nobody attacked you. You called somebody out, so you're being a fucking coward pussy by even claiming that you were attacked. But then why, if this is a correct representation of what actually happened, why would you respond to somebody with that gets no traction on their stuff? What's the point? You must be deeply insecure, I
was surprised at why he cared.
Yeah.
How does he even know who I am or what I'm about? And it turned out that Cassie Dillon, she had texted him earlier and she wanted him to take me under his wing. Oh, you really like this guy. He's amazing. He did this great debate. She goes, but he's a little too pro-Trump. And he goes, I'll take a look. And so they started paying attention to me, and the more critical of Israel I was, I started to get this really intense pushback from the both of them and from a lot of the people at Daily Wire.
Now, don't misconstrue.
They were going to go for Nick Fuentes. That's crazy. They should have just got him anyway. They should have taken him anyway. But I wonder if Ben gets $7,000 a month or anything.
Nick's position here. His criticism of Israel does not mean in any way that he's a friend of the Palestinian movement or any non-white group for that matter. Anyone with even a basic understanding of who he is should know immediately that Nick's opposition to Israel has nothing to do with a selfless, progressive dedication to human rights and has pretty much everything to do with a burning hatred for Jewish people. He's never exactly been one to hide.
Yeah, well, he phrases it as not hatred. He's just like, oh no, I like the Jews aren't that bad. They just shouldn't be in the country. That's the logic that they'll use.
Appreciation of Adolf Hitler and his questioning of how many Jews were really killed in the Holocaust, with his painfully unsubtle and nauseating comparison to cookies baking in an oven.
Max says, if I take 1 hour to cook a batch of cookies and Cookie Monster has 15 ovens, working 24 hours a day, every day for 5 years, how long does it take Cookie Monster to make 6 million batches of cookies?
Whoa. Why 6 million batches? Why not just 6 million cookies?
I don't know. That's a good question. It doesn't really sound correct to me. Wait a second. It takes 1 hour to cook a batch of cookies.
It doesn't. This is not actually adding up to me.
And you have 15 ovens, probably in 4 different kitchens, right? Doing 24 hours a day, every day for 5 years. How long would it take you to make 6 million? I don't know. It certainly wouldn't be 5 years, right?
Got him!
The math doesn't seem to add up there.
This is beside the point, but I watched this clip play on Rumble next to an ad for 30% off ivermectin.
No.
So anyway, the fact remains that Ben Shapiro is and has always been, since the dawn of his career as a columnist at Breitbart, a raging Zionist, a defender of fascism who will back Israel and all of their violent, depraved, and sick behavior to the hilt without even a second thought. We already saw his tweet from over a decade ago, lauding illegal settlements in Palestine and slamming Arabs for bombing crap and living in open sewage is a bit.
Well, but here's the thing you haven't considered. I heard Tel Aviv's pretty nice this time of year.
Opinions have hardly changed since then, and all you have to do is take one look at his coverage in the days and weeks following October 7th, 2023.
And Tucker, by the way, then continued along these lines. He did an interview with Vivek Ramaswamy, and he likened what just happened in Israel, the kidnapping of women and their rape. He compared that to drug overdose deaths in the United States. People who are addicted to fentanyl, sticking needles in their arms and overdosing is a moral blight. It is a moral atrocity and a moral evil for people to kidnap women, rape them, and drag them back to the Gaza border. Those are not the same thing. And Tucker knows that. But this is a cheap way
of telling you not to look. Nobody is calling for America to go to war with Iran. The entire purpose of having an aircraft carrier in the Mediterranean is to avoid that. Of course we should care about what happens with fentanyl. Of course we should care about, we should close our border. Have I been unclear about this? Of course America should have closed borders when it comes to this sort of stuff. I'm on the same side as Tucker on that.
What does it mean that America should have closed borders when it comes to fentanyl? Like we should close the border? This guy looks like House of Fiction. Anyway, does it mean that they should just close the border or just close it to fentanyl? Because we already have it closed to fentanyl. It makes it seem like you're saying it should be close to fentanyl. I'm so confused.
I just don't understand why he's not on my side when it comes to Hamas has to be wiped off the face of the earth.
The rift between Shapiro and Fuentes reflected a much deeper divide taking place on the right as Israel responded to the Hamas attacks of October 7th by waging an all-out assault on the 2.2 million men, women, and children then living in the Gaza Strip.
Well, this is the thing, is that I don't think that, like after October 7th, I think a lot of people had like a very charitable sentiment towards Israel responding and, you know, defending themselves, but it's still going. It's still going. So, you know, I think maybe that's what it is. You can't just unrelentingly support everything Israel does, every atrocity that they do. You know, you can acknowledge that the conflict is complicated while also acknowledging that they shouldn't be able to do anything with absolute, you know, a big okay to do whatever they want from a federal government, right? Hot take, all right?
Cutting off food, water, and electricity to the inhabitants and bombarding countless residential areas with attacks that persist to this day in what just about every international body considers a genocide. Benjamin Netanyahu and other members of the regime are officially wanted by the International Criminal Court of...
Is that what Benjamin Netanyahu looks like? Because I did this thumbnail the other day, and I put it's a thumbnail for a video where Nux Taku talked to Roseanne Barr. You could watch raped and murdered. Wow, that's a crazy point of the video to start off at. Anyway, it's called TBI Demons Coerced Roseanne Barr into Conversation with Nux Taku, Israel's greatest genocide supporter. And in the thumbnail, I thought that this is what Netanyahu looked like. So I'm actually a little confused. All right. Interesting. Very interesting.
Netanyahu and other members of the regime are officially wanted by the International Criminal Court of Justice for war crimes.
They're wanted. I'm so jealous. Nobody wants me.
Yet they continue to be protected by the United States, first under Joe Biden and now Donald Trump.
True. Although I will say that there was a little bit more reining it in under Joe Biden, let's be real.
Horrifying images of Israel's siege being plastered across everyone's screens in the intervening 2.5 years have hardly improved the country's standing in the West. So it shouldn't be much of a surprise that about 60% of all adults in America now have an unfavorable view of Israel. Pew Research found in April 2026 that 80% of Democrats and Democrat leaders...
You thought I did that on purpose? Of course I did. I'm being stupid, dude. Of course I didn't do it. I found a Kirkified Netanyahu and put it in the thumbnail.
Meaning voters have an unfavorable view of Israel, and although only 41% of Republicans currently hold an unfavorable view of the apartheid state, that's still a very significant chunk of the base, one that didn't exist prior to October 7th, and one that Nicholas J. Fuentes is in a better position to take advantage of than our friend Benjamin Shapiro, who considers even the slightest criticism of Israel to be flatly anti-Semitic, no questions asked. If you in any way disapprove of Benjamin Netanyahu's open bloodthirst and warmongering, then you obviously hate Jews. Never mind the fact that some of the most anti-Israel groups in America are comprised of Jewish Americans who simply don't want to see another genocide be carried.
Those are just the pick-me ones, am I right, guys?
Out in their name, Mr. Shapiro will hear none of it. But thanks to the power of hindsight, we can safely say that coming to the defense of a...
Real quick question in this game. Why is this guy so dirty? And why are all the fucking bears so goddamn dirty? And why are there so many teddy bears in his fucking office? Like, I'm sure that there's lore I'm missing here. I wish I could skip it easier, but this game does not let you skip any dialogue, and it makes me fucking enraged.
Genocidal ethno-state is hardly a hill worth dying on, both from a moral perspective, obviously, but in the case of Ben Shapiro, a business one too. Because not only was the divide ripping apart the Republican Party, it was also ripping apart his own company.
Whoa.
On the morning of March 22nd, 2024, Candace Owens shocked the world with a tweet that read, "The rumors are true, I am finally free."
Whoa, dude, she's escaped her abuser.
She had officially parted
her gay husband
ways with the Daily Wire and was already promoting her own site, which promised premium content that exposes truth, shatters assumptions, and breaks boundaries. She presented the news in a way that made it seem like the Daily Wire, aka Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring, had been holding her back from speaking truth to power, or something. But really, for anyone paying attention, this revelation hadn't come out of nowhere. She had been taking not-so-subtle shots at her bosses as early as November 2023.
Same here, dude. I used to do that too when I worked at my company.
She tweeted that no one can serve two masters.
Dude.
Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. To which Shapiro responded,
well, it sounds like she is.
With, "Candace, if you feel that taking money from the Daily Wire somehow comes between you and God, by all means, quit." Candace fired back, "You have been acting unprofessional and—"
Why? Why say that? Like, why? Like, I mean, she's acting unprofessional right now. But why say that live?
Emotionally unhinged for weeks now, and we have all had to sit back and allow it, and have all tried to exercise exceeding understanding for your raw emotion. But you cross a certain line when you come for scripture and read yourself into it. I will not tolerate it. Perhaps it finally dawned on Ben,
all fighting over their book,
and as he was reading that response, that the audience he had spent his entire adult life working to cultivate, the ensemble of reactionary nut jobs.
Who the fuck are these people?
Entire adult life working to cultivate the.
Who the fuck are all these people? I don't know the first guy, second guy, third guy. Then there's Jordan Peterson, Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, a girl, a bald, another girl, a guy. Who the fuck are these people?
Wasn't all that fond of Jews, actually. Whoops, who could have seen that coming? Reflecting on Candace's time at the Daily Wire years later, Ben told The New Yorker that when they initially brought her on in 2021, they saw her as a fairly mainstream conservative who said inflammatory things. If you recall, some of those inflammatory things included, defending Hitler 2 years before Ben hired her. But then again, Ben said he wouldn't kill baby Hitler. So.
No pro-life person on earth would kill baby Hitler.
Ben says here that
I would. That's crazy.
He liked most of the inflammatory things she said, but other stuff, not so much.
Probably the anti-Semitic stuff.
He doesn't really get into specifics, but he does maintain that by 2023, she was spouting anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. Which, by the way, she most certainly was and still is. I mean, come on, she held up a copy of the Talmudic Jew by German theologian August Rohling, a long discredited and blatantly anti-Semitic work that was literally used by the Nazis as justification to eradicate over 6 million Jews during the Holocaust.
Wow, that's pretty bad stuff.
She had been referencing the anti-Semitic notion of blood libel all throughout 2024.
What the hell? What the fuck? She endorsed the conspiracy theory? Okay, that's crazy.
Platformed Kanye West when he said that Jewish people control the media, erroneously claimed that Jews were responsible for the enslavement of Africans during the slave trade, and was at one point praised by Nick Fuentes for, in his words,
Candace Owens has just been on a tear lately. She has been in a full-fledged war against the Jews.
I understand this can be a difficult conversation to have when even the mildest criticism of Israel gets misconstrued as anti-Semitic, but make no mistake, Candace Owens is a raging anti-Semite and was one before Ben Shapiro hired her. He had.
You know, it's funny. I'm pretty sure that like she was friends with Charlie Kirk, but they hadn't talked in years. And she's like, my best friend died. I'm having dreams.
To have known how hateful.
What the fuck?
She was, and yet he continued to employ her for years until just a few months after October 7th. And while
damn.
Candace may have a lot to say about the genocidal, fascist state of Israel today, correctly criticizing Benjamin Netanyahu for killing children and condemning the Holocaust being perpetuated in Gaza. Candace has, historically, never been one to champion the rights of Arabs or Muslims, considering she was specifically mentioned in the Christchurch mosque shooters manifesto in 2019.
That's crazy.
He wrote that the person that has influenced me above all was Candace Owens. Each time she spoke, I was stunned by her insights and her own views helped push me further and further into the belief of violence over meekness.
What the fuck?
And yet, Ben Shapiro hired her anyway. The idea that she was just gonna play along and never turn against his identity as a Jewish man is a silly one that Ben should have anticipated long before spending so many years building her up. He created this monster, and now she's gonna swallow him whole. Candace
That's kind of hot, though, if you think about it.
spent the next 2 years steadily building up an audience.
Will I be named in a manifesto? I wasn't named in a manifesto, but I forgot there was a shooting where they called Hassan Parker, and I consider that a nod to me. So that's insane.
Daring to go where the Daily Wire never could by actually criticizing Israel. In the case of Candace, it was coming from an anti-Semitic place, but
what the fuck?
It nonetheless resonated with those who saw the most heinous atrocities imaginable being carried out in the name of a flag bearing the Star of David. Being anti-Semitic and being anti-Zionist are two very different things. One can rightfully call out Israel's war crimes while also recognizing the reality that Jewish people are not a monolith and are not collectively to blame for the crimes of a nation state. But Candace seeks to conflate these things, and frankly, so does Ben Shapiro. In their world, you cannot denounce Israel without also denouncing Jews as a whole, and that's precisely where their rift stems from. As Israel's genocide in Gaza moved forward with the complete support of the United States, more and more regular Americans were becoming dispossessed with what they were witnessing. They turned to the internet, saw that Ben Shapiro was defending Israel's crimes, and compared that to what they saw coming out of Candace Owens, a person.
Well, Candace also loves conspiracy theories. I think that's another thing too. And there's a lot of people on the right who have been like groomed from a childhood to believe in conspiracy theories. I'm not trying to be rude, but you know, their entire centralization of their everything is like to believe things that like aren't there, that you can't prove, that you can't see. But feelings are very important in this, and a lot of it is like religious indoctrination. Again, religion can be good. I was raised religious. I don't think I'm a bad person. Maybe I am. I don't know. But you know, so they'll latch on to Candace Owens. And it's like, because she's just saying shit that feels like it makes sense. It feels like it answers questions. It feels good. Feelings are good. That's what the Bible is. Feelings are good. So I think that's part of it as well. And again, Ben played into it a little bit, but not enough to like really grift on it. I would say that there's a level of truth to him being a grifter, but you know, in general, I guess he has his, the areas where he's not willing to go too far, you know?
Person who seemed more than willing to call out the various and obvious crimes against humanity. Basically, she was beginning to steadily siphon off the Daily Wire's viewers. Media Matters reports that from January 2025 to March 2026, Candace was able to add 10 million new subscribers across all platforms.
Gulp.
Generating 81 million TikTok likes and 805 million views on YouTube. Her follower and subscriber count had ballooned to 24 million across all of her accounts, a staggering 80% increase since the beginning.
Do you think that she falls off? Because I feel like she's got like a pretty harsh stranglehold on things right now. Like I find it hard to believe that like she falls off in any meaningful capacity, unfortunately.
Beginning of 2025, she really was, for all intents and purposes, free from the Daily Wire's grasp, meaning there was nothing stopping her from getting crazier than ever before, especially in the days, weeks, and months following the fateful day of September 10th, 2025.
Chaos and horror on a college campus. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk gunned down in front of a crowd at Utah Valley University.
With the assassination of Charlie Kirk at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, Candace Owens coped with the loss of her friend by ramping up her.
Please, we can't give this woman any credit. Like, I don't think that she coped with anything. I don't think Candace cared at all. They hadn't talked in a long time. That's my understanding. He died and people capitalized on his murder. That's it. Nobody cared that he died. And I'm not saying that as like a brag or like, oh, it's just a reality. Again, Trump didn't give a fuck. He was asked about how he felt about Kirk being killed. And he's like, yeah, I'm building a fucking ballroom. He didn't give a shit. These people don't care. Unfortunately, nobody really cared about Charlie Kirk. The steam died out almost instantaneously. He's best known for being everybody getting Kirkified. He's turned into a meme, like a disrespectful meme. His legacy was like a hateful legacy. Nobody really cared. She just like turned on the grift to be like, oh, Charlie was talking to me. They hadn't talked in years. They weren't really, I wouldn't even say they were friends. It's all like a nonsense fucking, it's all nonsense.
Trademark conspiracy theories to a whole new level. It's true that the investigation surrounding Charlie's death was suspicious. I'm sure you all remember those oddly written text messages the gunman was said to have typed out in the immediate aftermath of the shooting. Candace not only got to work pointing out the various inconsistencies in what the authorities were telling the public, but she was also quick to conjure up some theories of her own, even if they didn't make the most sense. First, she said that Israel had killed him, since he was supposedly coming around on his views on the country. His allies dispute that he was. She went on to assign blame to the French government, since she was, after all, in the midst of battling the Macrons in court after slandering the First Lady of France.
Yeah, he low Herculeanly got fucked. True.
France's transgender.
I'd say high Herculeanly.
Even going so far as to say that Tyler Robinson wasn't even the one to pull the trigger.
Well, now there's still conspiracies going on that it was actually like the microphone exploded. It's actually insane. These people are fucking freaks. It's ridiculous. It's wild. Obviously, he was shot. It's terrible, but that's what happened. You know?
And that the actual killer had escaped through a trap door in the floor in front of where Charlie was sitting. Later on, she said Charlie Kirk was coming to her in her dreams.
That's fucking hot.
A vivid dream this weekend, and Charlie came to me and he told me that he was betrayed.
Damn, dude. Did you tell your husband that you guys were fooling around in the dream or what?
He was a time traveler who went to X-Men school. I mean, she was just kind of saying whatever at a certain point. Of course,
she was saying whatever from the start, not from a certain point.
He had previously speculated that Charlie could have been taken out by elements within the U.S. military, and even
why would that ever be true? You know what I mean? It was somebody killed him. That's what it was. You know, it was somebody who didn't like him, probably because he didn't like trans people or black people or gay people or anybody, and he would say hateful things about them. So I think that maybe that's a little bit more likely.
TPUSA itself, targeting in particular Charlie's widow, Erica. In February, she announced
they do not go well together.
A multi-part investigative series titled Bride of Charlie that generated about 23 million views on its own and was described by The Hollywood Reporter as Candace delving into Erica's family background and advancing insinuations about her role in his death that were widely condemned across the conservative spectrum, with Ben Shapiro being among the loudest critics.
Candace Owens is an evil, twisted human being.
Probably, but you guys all voted for a fucking demonic rapist pedophile, so I don't care. This is a problem, is that like you guys propped up fucking Donald Trump. Nobody's as bad as this guy. He's a truly evil demonic monster. Him and fucking Elon Musk. They've killed like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people with their fucking cuts, their tax cuts to other, giving aid to other countries, and it didn't even save us any money. Who fucking cares? That's how I feel. Good. Let Candace Owens spread like a cancer inside of the Conservative Party. Go fuck yourself. Who cares?
Because Candace Owens is either going through the throes of mental illness or because she is a sick human being or both, she has decided that she is going to turn her fire on the widow.
By now, the gloves were officially off, and a conservative civil war was ravaging the movement from the inside. A war that Ben Shapiro was not about to win. Ben could get mad, could criticize Candace for being a disgusting human being, and he could be entirely right on that front, but what did it matter if Candace was pulling millions of views per stream? At the same time that Ben was bringing in 400 to 600k viewers per live show, Candace was cracking close to 3 million on some of her streams, sometimes even more than that. 9 million views talking about it.
Oh, overall, not at once. That's still a lot. Holy shit.
Israel's supposed involvement in Charlie's death. I mean, come on. Ben's numbers weren't bad on their own, but compared to Candace, it was clear which of the two enjoyed.
Compared to Candace, it was kind of stinky poo-poo, you know?
More influence within the conservative ecosystem, coasting off new momentum that still hasn't slowed much. Candace was just crowned the fastest growing right-wing podcast for the second quarter in a row, as reported in April of this year by The Writing, whose
I wonder when it burns out, you know?
President commented that Candace Owens' skyrocketing popularity defies an easy explanation. You'd think that her baseless attacks on people like Erica Kirk, the widow of slain right-wing activist Charlie Kirk, would discuss vast segments of the MAGA universe. Apparently not, because each month the podcast attracts thousands of new subscribers. She's thriving in a world where the truth is often irrelevant and outrage trumps logic. On December 18th, 2025, Ben Shapiro took the stage at Turning Point USA's America Fest to put the reactionary grifters and frauds on blast. He attempted to lash out at those he claimed had replaced truth with opportunism, and
it's a little too late to try to deal with the problem after it's already become a problem here, bud. That's what I'm saying. He wanted this cake and eat it. He wanted to eat it too, you know? Like, this is a little late, man. You should have been calling this out since way beforehand, you know? So.
He didn't shy away from naming names.
Erica Kirk and TPUSA never should have been put in the position to have to defend themselves against such specious and evil attacks, particularly in a time of mourning. And the people who refuse
do that kind of stuff at night
to condemn Candace's truly vicious attacks, and some of them are speaking here, are guilty of cowardice. The fact that they have said nothing while Candace has been vomiting all sorts of hideous and conspiratorial nonsense into the public square for years is just as cowardly.
Well, I mean, you had her, you hired her to say insane shit for years. So what is this? What the fuck are we talking about here? You know what I mean? Like, he had hired her to say insane shit. He just doesn't like the insane shit that she's saying now.
The speech that he posted to his own YouTube channel, mind you, got almost 10,000 dislikes in a remarkable display of how far right.
How many likes did it get though? Like, comparatively,
the needle had moved by the time Ben had made these remarks. And sure, he may be morally in the right for calling out Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson, but what good do morals do when you've spent your entire career pandering to an audience that ignores morality and spits in the face of sensibility? The very administration that Ben had been defending for so many years is the exact antithesis of morality and goodness. When he could no longer deliver the brand of craziness that the base craved, a base that he had spent his entire career feeding into, it was only natural for him to be overtaken and outshined by someone who was willing to say the outrageous thing. What's remarkable is that Ben had always been proud of the fact that he was never one to mince words. He had long portrayed himself as the no-nonsense guy who would never shy away from reality and always tell it like it is.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
What about
Yo, she should have fucked him up right there. That would have been a little bit based. Because then he would have looked like kind of a pussy. Getting beaten up by a girl.
right now, when a significant chunk of the base is more interested in hearing unsubstantiated conspiracy theories? What do you...
I think a lot of it, for some of it must be that people just, that it's just like, it's the newest form of like reality TV. That must be part of it. I don't think that most people give a singular fuck. I think a lot of it's just like, oh, it's the new reality TV. Oh, yeah, look, the president turned everything into a tabloid. That's cool, let's engage with it. I think that's a big part of it, honestly.
What do you expect to happen when you continue to defend Israel at a time when so many conservatives, especially younger conservatives, rightfully hate Netanyahu? Or what about when you defend an illegal and offensive war with Iran that Israel very much pushed us into? On top of everything else, Ben Shapiro has backed himself into a corner. He was continuing.
Yeah, he wasn't very intelligent about it. It's funny because he'll compromise his moral values to defend Trump, even though he didn't like him, but he won't compromise to defend himself against Israel. So I guess like that's a big part of it, is that I guess there's just some kind of unending loyalty to Israel. So good for you, I guess.
Continuing to stand by his support of Israel and Erica Kirk at this TPUSA event, no matter how unpopular it was to do so, at least among the MAGA right that exists primarily online, where the majority of Ben's audience lives. By this point, Ben had lost other allies too, not just Candace and Tucker, but Jeremy Boring's mysterious exit in March 2025 also.
Why? What do you think he left? Well, I guess it's a mysterious exit, so we won't really know. Maybe he's just tired of the company. I don't know.
Also added fuel to the fire that Ben was tasked with extinguishing. Ben's girl lookalike Brett Cooper had left to start her own channel just a few months before that in December 2024. They then proceeded to replace her with one of the bridesmaids from her own wedding, someone by the
well, they're probably all in the same circle.
name of Reagan Rohrbach. If you haven't heard of her, that's because she really hasn't done that great of a job trying to fill Brett's shoes. Again, the way he...
who the fuck is she? Is she a popular person? Like, who the fuck is that? Rohrbach? Damn, you can't even spell her name correctly. Yeah, they kept the comments section which I think was always a stupid fucking idea. But they have access to the channel, the comment section, and now she's making stuff and she posts. She doesn't even really post. She's like no fucking views. Maybe we'll watch one of her videos and just see how fucking boring she is. The View hates good women. Like, what the fuck? Oh, they took all of Brett Cooper's stuff down. Trump is Times Person of the Year. That did good, I guess. The Foundation, the dark fandom of Luigi Mangione. Inside OnlyFans. Wow. This woman is fucking boring. Facts versus feelings. Jillian Michaels on body positivity. It's all cultural issues, dude. Holy bazookers. Maybe we'll watch this one day. Why Sydney Sweeney triggered the internet again. Okay, cool. Super cool.
He had sort of built the company meant that any on-screen personality could use the...
Like there wasn't like a popular TikToker or something that they could have been like, oh, maybe we should utilize this person or something. There was nothing that they could have done except for get like some fucking deeply uninteresting person nobody's ever heard of. Was that part of like, was that necessary?
Daily Wire's resources to accumulate a parasocial audience loyal to them, then walk out the door and make more money on their own without any oversight or guardrails. Candace has done it. Brett Cooper has done it. What's stopping someone like Matt Walsh or Michael Knowles from forging their own?
Nobody cares about them. Truly, nobody gives a fuck about them. Nobody cares about them at all. They will never be more successful on their own. That's the fact of the reality there.
Path too. In the age of independent media, there's just no reason for someone, even up-and-coming names, to tie themselves to a bloated institution like the Daily Wire anymore, and to the legacy media.
I don't know if I necessarily think that that's true. I don't think that that's necessarily true. I mean, I do understand, like, once you're successful and established, like, if you have your own audience that likes you, you could just walk away. But I think that there's probably some redeemable reasons to do something like that. You know, they might be able to get you, like, easier sponsorships or something. I don't know. I'm sure that there's, like, reasons to do some kind of, like, conglomerate. But I just think that I don't know exactly why Brett Cooper left, but I don't know, Ben's probably just fucking annoying as shit when it comes to like Israel. And they're probably like, yeah, I don't really want to be bound to this. Or at a certain point, I think a big problem with Ben is that like he kind of, you know, with the way that he talks about some topics, he made himself look worse. And like his dragged down credibility, you know, is going to also drag down the credibility of anybody who's associated with them. And they might be like, yeah, you know what, it's not really worth it. Worth it.
Media was picking up on that fact. The first half of 2026 has seen a number of articles written about the collapse of the Daily Wire, with coverage ranging from the Washington Post to New York Magazine to Puck, the latter reporting that Ben's hemorrhaging audience represented the steepest decline of any major political channel in 2026. Ben Shapiro's embarrassing fall from being the leading voice for online conservatism has been heavily publicized. The bulk of these pieces cite much of what we've already touched on in this video: mass layoffs, which have impacted roughly 20% of the headcount, the departure of key talent, a shifting of the conservative ecosystem as a whole, and of course, the fact that the Daily Wire was burning through money, partly on account of all their...
Whoa, that doesn't sound like something Ben would want to do.
Massively ambitious projects, not just the movies and shows we covered, but also one of their more recent projects, the Pendragon Cycle.
What the fuck is that? What is the Pendragon Cycle?
Blatant ripoff of Game of Thrones that, to the Daily Wire's credit, does look pretty stylish and sleek, but that's only because it cost about $3 million an episode to make. You guys couldn't just put that money into hiring younger, more culturally aware podcasters? What the f?
No, I mean, it sounds like they want to branch out. It would make more sense. It seems like they've kind of peaked, at least right now, on their podcast, in like the podcasting space. I mean, maybe it'll be good. The Game of Thrones ended very disappointingly. I haven't watched any Game of Thrones things afterwards because to me, like, the entire atmosphere is just dead. Like, I just can't get into it. It ended so poorly. Maybe I'll give the Pendragon thing. I'm not going to do that, but...
are these priorities, dude? Well, Ben told Dylan Byers in May that he had anticipated 2026 to be the best advertising year in the history of the Daily Wire. Again, I don't know how great of a strategy it is to run your entire show as a YouTube pre-roll advertisement so that people can post about it and make fun of you on Twitter. Is that really sustainable, Ben? What about
hell yeah, dude,
trying to do this whole painful
Right-wing locales, very sustainable.
How do you do, fellow kids? Routine where you sit down and try to not let your age show while you play Fortnite.
Okay, so now this is the warm-up. You got 52 seconds. So you can see you walk around, move around, back up a little bit.
I'm literally right here.
Now back up just a tiny bit. There you go.
There you go.
Wait, no, forward a little more.
Who the fuck is the guy that's working with him? I'm very confused.
A little more, back up.
You're the politics guy, Ben. Just do politics. Who cares about this shit? Tucker Carlson, another ardent foe of Ben Shapiro, summarized Ben's latest.
Well, he's trying to get a new audience, so he's playing Fortnite to seem super based. I think they should just hire the ungrateful Chud at that point. That'd be so funny. That'd be such a fucking meme move. It would be hilarious to me.
This predicament in a recent appearance on Megyn Kelly's show, categorizing the likes of Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin as being on the outer fringe of the outer fringe. Nobody watches this stuff. There's no audience for this. There is no constituency for it. These are not major figures in American media. They're tiny. I mean, your average porn video has 1,000 more views than any of these people get.
That's crazy.
So they're a joke, which must be a difficult pill for Ben to swallow. Ben Shapiro has always wanted to be taken seriously as a media figure, ever since his days of working for Andrew Breitbart, who hammered into his proteges that politics was downstream of culture. If you could just influence the culture, you could have influence over politics. Though,
well, that would make sense as to why he would be playing Fork Knife.
As of now, Ben Shapiro appears to be influencing neither. And while he may be getting lapped by his former employees, make no mistake, Ben is still very much a player, and he's not about to go quietly. And on May 15th, Ben took to Twitter.
No, he's probably just chilling right now, hoping that he can find like a good point to anchor himself back in, you know?
Twitter to post his most viewed video in a long time. Annoyingly captioned, "All the haters can kiss my ass."
See, that's a very Dr. the Unfaithful Chud thing to say, in my opinion. He might as well hire the guy at this point.
I'm betting there are a lot more rational people in this country than conspiracy-mongering nut jobs.
Probably not.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is where Ben Shapiro...
Everybody who still supports Trump is a conspiracy-mongering nut job, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, bud.
Shapiro finds himself in mid-2026, completely alienated by a swath of his former allies, holding on to a decaying business that's leaking money by the day, an audience that constantly demands more blood than Ben can give them. He's tied himself to a sinking ship, and he appears to be willing to go down with it rather than break for a lifeboat. The world of online conservatism, or really the world at large, has mostly passed him by, as evident by the numerous replies that read, "If it wasn't for Candace Owens trending, I never would have seen this hilarious video of you. Israeli spies can kiss my ass. You're
damn, those are some big eyebrows.
Telling most of America to kiss your ass. A very Jewish message," says Dan Bilzerian.
Whoa. That sounds anti-Semitic. Who the fuck is Dan Bilzerian? Didn't he try to run for some kind of office and then he didn't do well? Because he sucks?
Name I haven't heard in a very long time. This reply alone got 29,000 likes, signaling clearly that perhaps Ben's entire mission was futile from the start. He spent his career attacking almost all minority groups, incorrectly assuming that his following of racists and bigots would simply overlook the one group Ben never criticized.
I'm betting that there are way more people in America who believe in truth and virtue and freedom than people who revel in grievance and demoralization and stupidity.
You're talking to racists.
No. This guy's stupid or something? Is this guy stupid or something?
And bigots, Ben. You think they aren't going to come for you and your people too? By going hard in the direction of anti-Semitism and Hitler apologia, Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes are, in a weird, depraved way, actually presenting a more consistent worldview than Ben Shapiro is. Now, it's a worldview that sucks and is incredibly harmful, but it's one that doesn't exempt a whole group of people the way.
Well, it's a viewpoint that makes people feel comfortable when you can blame another group of people for your problems, you know? Although I guess it's just the wrong group. It's just like a race. I don't know why. I guess they just can't blame the real culprit, which is the rich people fucking us in the booty cheeks. Although I guess they pretend that that would be the Jewish people, right? They pretend that there's like a whole conspiracy. So I guess that's what they think they're doing. I have no idea
way Ben's does. A classic example of, well, I didn't think the leopards would eat my face. They were always gonna eat your face, Ben. No matter how you feel about it, that is the fact of the matter, which I'm afraid leads us to an uncomfortable truth, one that can be summed up in a phrase coined at the height of our subject's influence and popularity that still rings true today more than it ever has. Facts don't care about your feelings.
Damn. It's a good way to end. That's funny. Wow, and he ended it too, dude. He knew. He knew it was a good way to end. All right. Cool. Excellent. All right. Yeah, man, that was a cool video. Something a little bit different than what we've been doing, so I liked it.